Welcome to Bourbon with Brad.
The views and opinions shared on the Bourbon with Brad podcast are our own and those of our guests. Nothing we discuss should be taken as financial, legal, business, or gambling advice. Don't make investment, business, or betting decisions based on our conversations, as you should always talk to a qualified professional. Always drink responsibly, never drink and drive, and only consume alcohol if you are of legal drinking age.
AI, data, privacy, cybersecurity. Across all 50 states and federal, the law changed overnight. But this morning, you're not scrambling. One coffee, one scroll. Every new development that matters, in plain English, reviewed by an attorney linked to its official government source. That's Docket Daily. The 4 pillars, every morning, one place. Start your free 2-week trial at docketdaily.ai.
And we are back in the Bourbon Studios in Indiana, PA. And
off the course.
Oh, back off the course. Felt like we were just on the course.
I spent way too much time on the course last week.
Yeah.
In the heat.
Yeah.
It was like 1,000 degrees outside.
Yeah, that was kind of my theme over the holiday weekend too. You know, between us starting on the course and when we finished up, it felt like it was a sweltering heat, even though we finished hot in that optimum lubricity zone.
You did. You and Lou hit it.
Oh, we did.
You hit it just right after we were in here, because he even made a comment on that segment we shot in here that we were, what did he say? We're 7 holes to go and we're in 9th place. We ended up winning. So,
did we win?
I thought that's what you said.
I thought we placed. I know we placed. Maybe we won. I don't know.
2nd or 3rd. I don't know. We probably have a pro shop credit.
Oh, that's a
Time
win.
to go shopping.
That's good stuff. Then I went kayaking yesterday, Perry. Almost killed myself.
Yeah, I want to hear about that.
Yeah, well, you know, the water, I guess, is down even after all this rain we've had, right? So we got stuck, Quinn and I, on the rocks. And the one time we had to get out of and these rocks are extremely slippery. Next thing I know, I'm doing the complete splits in the middle of the river, you know?
Where's the video? Please tell me Tanya recorded that.
Yeah, it was. Anyways, that's about the only pain other than a little bit of sunburn.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
that's good.
Yeah,
some
survived
people,
that.
yeah, you did better than some people do.
So you had another cigar in the sun today, huh?
Well, in the shade, but
Yeah.
yeah. When I got home, just when I was like, oh, I got time to grab a cigar, cook dinner, and still get a nap in before I come over here. I got 2 of the 3 done. It's
important.
I didn't get the nap though.
Got to get the nap.
But yeah, just when that rainstorm hit, I sat down outside. It was nice because I like the rain when it's not blowing in,
Sideways?
Blowing sideways. It was just a straight downpour, and
Well, it seems
had
like
my cigar. It was nice.
Yeah, it seems like the storms we've gotten lately have just come blowing in like crazy, right?
Yeah, Saturday I think it was. There was a tornado warning in northern Cambria. I never heard much more about it. They said that meant it was either one on the ground or they had picked one up on radar.
Yeah.
I didn't heard anything else about it.
So we filmed late last week because of what was going on between Lou's schedule and myself having to go to New York. So we're turning around pretty quickly and filming early this week because we got a special guest, not only just a friend of the family, but a very intelligent young lady that's working for Microsoft now and very up and coming there. And I can't wait to have her on to talk about.
We got lucky. She happened to be in town.
I know. We were able to catch them before they head back out of state. So
we
really
did.
looking forward to having Kacie Jones.
We ditched Louis for you, Casey.
It's a good trade-up.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah, Lou would probably agree. Yeah.
And we got the one and only Eric Kowalski back in the studio, back from Canada. They released you. I knew you probably had to stay there in customs for a while and convince them you weren't Canadian.
Yeah, I got lucky.
Attaboy. We're going to be talking a little bit with you too about Math is God's Mind. You sent me your revised draft, and I love it. It went from 4 to 6 chapters to now 13. Yeah. Yeah, and it looks good. I was reading.
That's against the advice of Omar.
No, I think it's a strong read.
I'll send it to the group.
Omar's still going off the cassette days, though. You got to be honest. That's why you want to
true. That's
flip
true.
it over. So
That's true. They fit the case perfectly when there's
That's
six cassettes, 2 sides, 12 segments. 12
even he
chapters.
acknowledged that was
Yeah.
that was the trend back then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good stuff. But nevertheless, we've only been out of the studio for 3 or 4 days, and the headlines keep rolling, don't they?
It's very difficult to keep up with it.
I know.
When we were shooting for a brief period of time every morning, it was tough to keep up with it then. Now you have to kind of pick and choose what you want to talk about, or we'd spend 3 hours just doing that.
Yeah, we could do that and bore our audience to death with that. But we are going to talk about some of the major things happening in the AI world, and we were kicking off last week with a few of those things. And the one thing that's heating up out there in the world is the UN actually is talking about AI governance for the first time, trying to get the countries together to have these safety regulations in place to figure out how do we protect children first and foremost, which has been the, sifting through all these statutes every day and proposed bills that are out there. That's been a big push by the states as well. So I don't think they're going to get any pushback from most of the countries that are part of the UN on that. So they're just trying.
I hope not.
Yeah, so they're just trying to put some safety measures in place that companies and governments can rely on. And it's not this, just like the states, it's not this patchwork of different laws that you have to try to, sidestep through and you accidentally hit a landmine because you got all these different requirements. So,
Yeah, we've said, you and I and whoever else has been on the show the last couple of months have said repeatedly that there needs to be, it seems to be kind of the wild, wild west, at least it did, so it's good to see some structure coming in, even though I'm not a big proponent of government regulation, but somebody's got to do it, and who else could do it?
well, and that's the other I think discussion that they're probably having, and most likely it's not front and center because they don't want to scare everybody at the same time, but they think they need to be truthful about this, just as our administration has been truthful at these frontier models. Need to be regulated and looked after in some sort of respect to make sure that they aren't put into the bad actors' hands and get out of control to where it would harm citizens or the humanity itself. I mean, we're getting back to basics, right?
Every time we talk about this, all I can picture in my mind is Dr. Evil from the Austin Powers movies.
Right.
If he got his hands on AI, it'd be bad.
Oh yeah, I mean it's kind of that.
A lot of bad people in the world.
But in on the flip side of that, this first half of the year, now that July 1st has come and gone, has seen more investment funding go into AI than any other time. $510 billion in venture.
Just domestically.
That's let me see here to make sure. Yeah, that's
Must be, yeah.
yeah.
It'd have to be. Wow.
No, this is worldwide. I'm sorry, this is worldwide. I
is?
just want to
Okay.
clarify. That is worldwide investors, but still,
That's crazy.
you're talking $500 billion, right, of money being spent by VC firms that are saying, we don't think there's a bubble.
No, I mean, I agree with them. I don't think it is either. But as I was saying to my wife the other night, I said, or maybe it was Garrett, but I said, this is the third time, as you wrote in your first book, this is the third attempt at this, at least in our country, and this is the first time we actually have the compute power to actually pull it off. I mean, they are pulling it off already, but they just didn't have the computer power before.
Well, now electricity is the issue. So,
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there's solutions for that, even though some people might not like it. But
yeah. I mean, that's the problem, and we're seeing potential, especially with this heat wave. We're seeing the electricity grid get stressed out and potential rolling brownouts, and it'll be interesting to see how it is in 2 years from now when we start hitting some of these heat waves like that, and every AC's running.
well, I mean, if they build enough generation capacity, it shouldn't be a problem. I mean, we've been behind kind of on that anyway, haven't we?
We have. I mean,
It's going to be exacerbated now with this.
We've had a tired system. There's no doubt. I mean, if you look at the coal plants, especially we're in a coal plant rich area, they were dated, and they were in much need of either updating or turnover. So, and that seems to be the what's happening exactly. So
Eric's like, build more gas plants.
that's right. Throw those turbines out there. Let's go,
That's
GE Vernova. You got them.
There's so much gas. I mean, there's so much gas it was valueless, right? Wasn't that the problem? It's like, so this is what a great way to use it. And
Right.
It's much cleaner than coal.
Well, instead of it being tapped into the ground that we've already drilled, put all the infrastructure into to get, and these landowners are waiting to see their royalties. Now
Yeah.
they're going to actually start to produce. So it's
Yeah.
a win-win for a lot of different stakeholders involved.
Yep. Agreed.
So the third headline, these are all coming from Gemini again. So and this is impartial. So I like the fact that it's kind of a self-pitch for docketdaily.ai. They said,
That's right. That's what I was thinking last week whenever I was tasked with putting the headlines together. I was like, oh, this Docket Daily would be perfect for this.
right? So it says the United States, the states alone passed over 109 AI laws since January 1st. I could have given a more accurate number than that.
I was going to say.
Yeah, so
You know exactly how many there are.
Since my database actually starts January 1st, I can tell you exactly how many AI laws, as well as privacy laws, as well as data laws, and as well as cybersecurity laws. So, they all interweave with each other in the new era that we are with this.
So that's how many have passed?
Those are enacted.
Already in place.
Already in place, not just the proposed. Mind you, the proposed legislation is
Right.
another 1,600 bills that are sitting hanging out there.
That makes sense. So
That's not just AI. That's
but
also
still 109 bills passed in 6 months across the 50
Yeah.
states. I mean, that's probably unheard of.
yeah, and I know there's also another 5 or 6 federal statutes have been passed that they're a little bit more of a gridlock on the federal level, but again, over the 4 pillars, not just the AI.
Right.
Because when you're dealing with AI, I mean, a lot of the concerns are privacy, data, all that. So they all intersect. Cybersecurity.
Yeah.
It's hard to kind of differentiate which law you want to organize them in. That's why we took the 4-pillar approach.
Yep. Smart as always.
Well, and then Anthropic. We talked about a little bit them bringing Fable 5 back on, but we failed to mention that they also brought Sonnet 5.0 back on. So that's a big upgrade according to all the developers out there that have been using it, and they're saying it is as good as they've seen as far as being able to code, do everything. It's getting the highest benchmark ratings of anything that we've seen. So I have not had a chance to use it since they released it last week. I used all my API credits up right away in the first weeks. I'm going to have to wait till next month to give my own 2 cents on that. But if it's anything like the lower levels and it's as good as they say, I can't wait to have it look at it.
And that's the model you used for your Docket Daily, right?
Well, Cursor, I use Cursor.
Yeah.
The platform that Elon bought with SpaceX's IPO money the first week. But it gives you a pull down menu where you can select all the different models.
So what's the difference between Cursor and Sonnet? I mean,
Well, Cursor,
they're both used for coding.
Cursor is a coding platform where you're within the terminal. So now Sonnet is one of the LLM models.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Like ChatGPT 5.6 that we talked about that was coming out, but it's sitting behind the. Well, that's the next headline. We'll talk about that in a second. But you can pull down the pull down menu and you can choose ChatGPT 5.4 and you can choose Sonnet 4 or you can choose Composer 2. All these different models you can go right down. So it gives you the flexibility to do so, and that's and if you have preference as a coder and some like we're talking about with the different platforms for the consumers, I mean, there's different strengths and weaknesses to each one of those. So, but Claude's, Claude's been ahead of the game on the coding and deep reasoning.
Yep. You've held to that for quite some time.
Well, and it may change. You never know. I mean, it depends. Where things shift. So,
which is every hour.
Yeah, where's the money going to be spent, and where's the talent going to go, right? So that's kind of the flow of how it's going back and forth. And right now, it's like the big leagues in the tech world. I mean, the contracts are flowing, right? So,
and you talked about the investment, the $500 and some odd $billion.
Yeah,
where's that going? All to the Mongos or Mangoes or Mongo? No.
It's a combination to the data centers and the LLM training models,
Okay.
and then the platforms. So you have like all these different. I would say 3 or 4 different segmented areas.
Gotcha.
And I'm not sure if they're including the electricity build out in that as well, because that's a whole nother major. If you look at the infrastructure, if you consider the build out of the turbines that are going into place, right? That's a whole separate segment that's kind of piggybacking or having to go along with it. So the GDP that's going into this infrastructure build out is incredible.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the dollars are insane.
They are.
It's insane.
They are. So, we talked about 5.6 coming out, but that's behind kind of a paywall right now. Pay to play.
Oh, is it?
Well, it's under the new, the
OpenAI?
The OpenAI's, 5.6 ChatGPT, which is, touted to be just as good as Anthropic's Fable. Nobody really knows yet, but because there's only 20 preferred partners that are part of this whole
That's a gated
community
launch
that
about,
the government is working out a deal, which I'm guessing is going to look much like the regulated, self-regulated agreement that Anthropic and them entered into. Because again, who in the government is going to understand these cutting-edge, brand new frontier models to be able to say whether or not it's going to propose a risk or not, and whether it's operating as it should. You have to kind of self-regulate, and then you kind of basically back into it by the harms that are caused, right? So that's the only way I think it can happen.
You're probably right. I mean, how else could it happen? It's not like somebody at Government House is going, "Oh no, I see what you're doing there. You can't do that." They don't know what they're doing.
I almost analogize it to kind of as when you take an oath, and you get up on the stand in the court of law, and you swear by everything that I say is going to say and be true, and at the end of the day, if it comes out not to be true, guess what? Now there's going to be federal ramifications as a result.
Yeah, and you just have to hope that that's enough to make them want to keep it, keep it legit, keep it straight and narrow.
Well, you hope, right?
I guess we'll see.
Yeah. So now, the one last thing I do want to talk about in the headlines, because it's interesting in the coding world, and that's GitHub Copilot. Okay. And that is the biggest preferred, and has always been kind of the staple for all the true long-standing coders that have been out there. There's an open, kind of sharing of, I'll call them recipes of the code, where you can kind of utilize it. And before this recent announcement, you were kind of stuck with the pull-down menu. You had to use Anthropic, or you had to use ChatGPT, or one of these models that are corporate-driven. Well, there's a gentleman by the name of, or there's a model by the name of Kimi K2.7 code. I wanted to make sure I read that properly, because it's supposed to be a very good model. And they dropped it in there, and it's, instead of having to pay a monthly usage fee like you would for the enterprise, packages in the OpenAI or Anthropic worlds, you get this essentially for free, and you don't have to pay per seat. And so, really, it becomes an issue is on the bigger enterprise level. For example, if a Fortune 100 company has a team of engineers, and we saw how they kind of got burnt by using, Anthropic, boom, 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 and you got all these different seats you're getting charged for, everybody's using it. You can really get burnt. Now, you can still get burnt by the usage, because they're going to be charged by the usage. You just don't have to pay that monthly fee per seat. So that's a big savings possibly for a very similar type quality product that you can take and then mold into your own.
Who's the parent company of that product?
Now, that was dropped by, I had that up here.
You mentioned GitHub.
GitHub is the platform, GitHub Copilot. And the Moonshot. Moonshot AI.
There's all these partnerships. I've talked about Adobe, and I use a lot of the Adobe products, and they use what was something banana. I forget what it was called. That was Google's product for a while. So they have these partnerships
For imaging,
for image generation, image editing, generative AI, all those things, and they have them built in, but they're not theirs.
You tried to say gender, didn't you?
Generative.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I don't know why I struggle with that word. It's kind of like the Bourbonometer. Generative AI, and but it's not Adobe's product. That, like, I guess they figured, what's the point in reinventing that wheel? And they partner with others, because I noticed I could pick in a drop down in Photoshop or Illustrator, you can pick different engines to use. And one was the banana one. I can never remember the what that was called, but
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. I mean, it's
And I think
smart. It's a
it is.
smart way to do it.
And I
Why,
think-
why invest all that money and just build it in so that people have access to it? They don't care. The people that are using it in Adobe don't really give a crap who wrote it.
No,
They
but
just
they
want
do.
it to work.
But they do want quality. So, and
yeah.
that banana one at that point in time was the top quality one. Is it still one of the pull down menu options?
I don't know. I haven't looked. I'll have to check.
Yeah,
I'll
because
check tonight.
I think Gemini Flash may have replaced it, or at least it's the latest model of what they're doing with.
Yeah, what's the other Gemini model they came out with that I was telling you I was using? It wasn't Flash. It was, oh boy. I can't remember the name. I'll have that for next week.
Yeah. So,
But
but that's kind of the same thing in the coding world. You get all these
Yeah.
different options, to utilize, and you definitely want to be using the top ones. In Gemini right now, I've been using it for imaging and video editing. It's pretty powerful right now as far as that goes. So one last headline: Microsoft decided to lay off 4,800 employees today, basically cutting back on the Xbox and Salesforce a little bit. But I truly believe it's a shift of priorities as to where they're going to spend their funding. As we talked about the Frontier Innovation Project that they're launched last week by embedding their engineers, 6,000 engineers, into their enterprise clients to help them build out their agentic and customized platforms. Instead of them having to go out there and take that risk of trying to hire these experts, like I said, they're to get somebody like what Microsoft is providing, you got to go pay baseball type salaries. So they're in high demand, and to be able to offer that as a service, that forward engineering deployment is amazing, right?
yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool model. I think we talked about that last week. And
We did. That was the headline
yeah.
last Thursday.
Yeah.
So, but
Cool.
everything can keep shifting and changing, and I think that's what's to come. The AI is definitely making a difference in the marketplace all around. So, when we come back, we have a Microsoft employee with us, and we get to talk with her and talk about what she's seeing from her end of the end of the world. It's amazing where Microsoft's going, where it's been.
I mean, it's a household name. That's synonymous with computers and computing and operating systems and workflow systems, everything.
And the one thing I'll say is this: you have this new mango, of tech companies, but that used to be different. There used to be IBM, it used to be Apple, it used to be.
Well, there's still the M in mango, right?
Yeah, there is. That's what I'm saying. So that's my point. They've survived the new shift, right?
Yeah.
And so and Google has too in this latest realm, as they're a fairly new company compared to some of the older companies.
The amount of money these companies are spending keeping up with this stuff is just blows your mind.
Well, and it's the ones that are sitting on a pile of cash, and
that's a big advantage over the newcomers like
IP,
Anthropic.
Workflows and products and subscriber base, and that's one thing Microsoft and Google has over any of these newcomers.
Yeah, for sure.
And Anthropic's the only newcomer that's has shifted into a profit zone. Everybody else is kind of operating at a loss right now, kind of doing the Amazon model: keep investing till it hits, right?
Worked for him.
It did.
I don't think it works that often, but it did for him.
It did, and
Big time.
Amazon is in the mix of that mango formula. So
Yeah.
when we come back, we're gonna crack into this bottle that Kacie's brought for us. Thank you so much for bringing this, and we'll talk about that, and we're gonna get into what's going on at Microsoft and in her world. Sounds great. We'll be right back after this.
AI, data, privacy, cybersecurity. Across all 50 states and federal, the law changed overnight. But this morning, you're not scrambling. One coffee, one scroll. Every new development that matters, in plain English, reviewed by an attorney linked to its official government source. That's Docket Daily. The 4 pillars, every morning, one place. Start your free 2-week trial at docketdaily.ai.
And we are back in the Bourbon Studios with Kacie Jones. Welcome.
Hey, Fred.
Welcome.
How's it going?
It's going great. I was so happy when I bumped into you guys, at the pool the other day, and saw that you guys were in town for the 4th of July weekend. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And you mentioned, maybe we could, I was talking to Microsoft. She's like, when can you get you on? You're like, you guys going to be here for a while? And you're like, yeah. So we are filming early, which is fine with me. Because, just to have this conversation, we've been talking AI a little bit over the last, since the first book came out.
Couple years.
Yeah, right. So you introduced me to your one of the gentlemen that you work with at Microsoft, Ross Smith. He's been there for it's probably as long as.
Yeah, he's been there for quite a while. He's on my team now, so shout out to Ross Smith.
Yeah, no doubt.
Watching this, he's got an AI podcast too.
He does, and he's got a great foundation. I got to meet him on a Zoom call thanks to you, and appreciate the introduction. He's a wonderfully talented writer. He sent me his book that he had done at that time, and I think he came out with AI for the classroom since.
Yeah, so what's funny about that is Ross did that book, and my current manager at Microsoft, shout out to Emily, was a co-author on that too. So
awesome.
small world.
Really is a small world, right? Well, Ross, initially the book that was referencing early on was AI for customer support. So, we're better to figure out AI for customer support than Microsoft. You're talking about, we've talked about how Microsoft has embedded, AI into its 365 workflow. So you don't even have to be an AI person necessarily or have to go out and find it. It's going to find you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's a tool that's it's ready at your ready disposal.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits about working at Microsoft is that it feels like a play box or a sandbox, for lack of a better term, where you can kind of just go and explore. And if you don't figure it out, there's definitely a colleague that can point you in the right direction or say, hey, have you checked out this tool or this new skill, that type of thing. So it's really interesting. I feel like it's evolving so quickly and so exponentially, for lack of a better term. But
isn't it?
Being at Microsoft and being in this revolution of AI is inspiring. Sometimes it can get, just like everybody else, the velocity is so fast.
Right.
But it's encouraging knowing that you have a ton of other people that are playing around with it too.
Well, and you have a lot of folks with, folks like Ross that have a lot of experience, have been through the different cycles. Now, this cycle, I would say, is probably the super cycle of all cycles that we've seen, at least in my generation. We went through the internet boom, back in the day. We went through the email, craze when the email first came out. Like, can you believe you can send a digital message? You don't have to go through the postal mail. That was high tech. Then the internet came out, and we thought that was a crazy tech boom. Well, the AI revolution, this revolution, because they've tried to do it like we talked about before a couple times, over the, back to 1950. So this one is actually going to be sustainable. Now, it's putting a stress on different levels currently because it's moving so quickly. The infrastructure hasn't caught up to it yet, but it will. And there's a lot of creative minds out there that are saying, wait, maybe instead of putting data centers all around the earth, we're going to put them into orbit. And maybe we're going to throw them in the ocean. We got these pods now in the ocean, or maybe we put them in the bottom of the ocean, or maybe we put them in these caverns under the ground. So they're getting creative in all these different ways, and not only that, but the chip makers are now getting creative to figure out how they can use less electricity. The inference level as to where they're going with it. It's incredible. So to be at Microsoft and be a part of this, and in my opinion, it's at the very infant stages still. I still think you're standing outside in the line to the concert waiting to get in because the big show hasn't even started yet, especially with quantum, on the backdrop and that changes. And when Eric comes on, we'll talk a little bit. We'll continue that discussion. We've been talking about quantum and where that goes because unlike the linear progression of how we've gone with software advances in these platforms, this gets incredible. So how are you guys using in your day-to-day operations AI?
I'll speak for myself and say, well, first off, we just celebrated at Microsoft recently 50 years of Microsoft.
That's amazing.
So when you go on campus, you see like Clippy around. And I remember when Clippy came out at the time, we're like,
right?
wow, this is cool, jumping around on the screen and
It was.
being able to engage with it. So
that was high tech.
So you've met
was
Clippy,
high-tech.
the real Clippy?
I have not met the real Clippy in person, but there is a strong push for Clippy coming back.
Got to bring them back.
But you have coworkers who were there from the beginning, 35, 40 years. So from their perspective and learning their insights of the evolution of even their role within a same company is really mind-blowing. But I'll speak on the experience on my behalf. So I've been in the tech space and communication space specifically for many years. And one thing that I'm finding is it's definitely changing the way I do my role, but it's also making me grow in a way that I didn't think was possible.
Right.
I went to school for broadcasting, and that's what I was really passionate about, was storytelling and getting to hear the customer's point of view or the person down the street and sharing that information. Well, now that I'm in like corporate communications for a generalized bubble, we have to get creative with our internal audience of how are we telling those success stories? How are we getting into those niche areas that need to have light a little bit more? And AI is really helping us get more creative.
Awesome.
I don't lean on it to tell my story. I lean on it to help me build an outline or where are the pockets in our business that could really get some light shed on it.
Well, and that's great to hear because that's exactly how I use it too. And I think it's just at that point it's an enhancer because if you're relying on it to do your work, then we are disposable.
True, and I think,
but I do think AI is still very limited, and we're so far off, if ever, to be honest, to where we're not still part of the equation to some extent. You know, so our job may get easier in certain respects, but it gets more complex in others because I'm sure you're finding it as I am. Yeah, I can do this quicker and that quicker, but now that allows me to do a lot more complex tasks.
yeah.
In my mind, at the end of the day, I find it exhausted, you know?
Yeah, especially with this boom of autonomous agents and things like that, it's easy to put in a prompt and say, write this story for me. But you can almost read between the lines of what is written by a human and what still needs to grow in that AI space. I think the AI space benefits the most when there's human input plus AI when it comes from the creative area. Because you can't just say, give me this image without a really clear prompt, providing adjectives to really describe it, kind of that manipulation with it, because otherwise you could see the writing on the wall. In my opinion.
For sure. And you know, we had Christy Kay on here a couple weeks ago, and she's been in the media and journalistic business for 20 years, and was interviewing folks on the red carpet, and had a PBS business show, and now has an after show. Christy K After Hours that's moving out to LA. Got picked up by a production company out there. So, and she was saying a lot of the same stuff. You know, it's a great enhancer. It allows me to get what would have gone back and forth between editing, for example, and that has eliminated a lot of that time. Oh,
absolutely.
You know, lapse. So, and with your journalistic background, you know, when you were in the, you know, I remember when you were getting into the reporting and doing all that stuff, right? So, it's just amazing how much has changed since then.
Absolutely. I think about even putting a video together, what used to take, you know, on a cassette, for lack of a better term. I'm blanking out on the term, so you may need to adjust that. But we had handheld video recorders, and you had to put the tape in there and then cut it down, whereas AI, you can kind of put the video in there and say, pull the best clips or shorten it down, refine it. And there's so much like API integration with certain AI tools that we use now that the world is your oyster to get creative with it.
Well, it really is. And Perry, you're the clip master.
I do mine the old-fashioned way, but in Adobe Premiere.
Tape to tape?
No, Adobe Premiere.
Yeah.
But like I did play around with Riverside a little bit. That's an online. So you upload the video, and then it'll go in. And I don't know. It did an okay job picking out like the important segments of it. And one of the things that it will do is it'll go in and take all the pauses out. So like anytime you have a pause like that, it'll go in and automatically clip all those out. And it'll take, you know, it could take 10, 15 minutes off of an hour and a half video. But
Yeah, if listeners had to really watch all of our bourbon pauses, I mean, they had to understand that we're here for about 4.5 hours to film that.
well, it tends to slow down the thought process a little bit. But it was, and I think I still have a subscription to it, but I just haven't really used it much. I'm old school and I'm more hands on, so I like to go through and I just cut out the segments that I want, and I go in and I'll go out and cut more out until it gets down to 30 seconds to a minute and make my reels that way. I don't know.
You do a nice job.
Thanks, and it's fun. I enjoy.
I'm not sold on any of the other clip platforms yet.
Well, I mean, I can show you some of the ones that Riverside did, and it does a good job of putting them together. But I don't know. And maybe I'm too old to grasp the interface. The interface was a little confusing the way, because like you'd upload it, would automatically create all these. They had reels, they had clips, they had they call them all these different things, and I was like, well, what the hell do I want? So it's a little confusing. But anyway, I do mine the old-fashioned way, but I do use Premiere. It's all digital, but
yeah, it's good. And those clips, those would have taken, how many back and forths between the editing, crew, and when you're dealing with the tapes, whether it was the CDs, whether it was the
were they DAT tapes, digital audio tape, or digital tape? It was tape, but they were like a little mini cartridge.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like an 8mm.
Yep. We used to store data on those at work years ago because it was the cheapest form of long-term, low-access storage. You could just dump gigabytes and gigabytes of data on there, and you didn't have to access all the time because disk space at the time was really expensive. So.
Well, Johnny Krebs just walked in. Welcome, brother. Good to see you. I know he knows the Joneses very well.
Yes, we go way back.
Awesome. So, and that's the best part about bourbon is it seems to bring everybody together. And Eric, you came back. Kacie came, with this when we're going to talk about the double. Is it double aged oak? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is my first time having it. It's very good, by the way. It's very good. and if Louis here, he'd say, "Oh, the color, the bottle. Look at it. So it is wonderful." And
it's good.
Mr. Lubricity is out of commission tonight. I think we overdid him on the golf. We squeezed every last ounce of birdie out of him. Do you know that, right?
We did, and it worked.
Because he was pretty down on us when we were down here having.
He was.
He's like,
you guys totally turned it around.
Yeah. I mean, I think I went 2 under after the next 8 holes.
Yeah. You were.
And he backed it up with 2 birdies on top of it. So all of a sudden we probably flew from the bottom of the pack to that third place. Second place we took.
I had a couple of birdie attempts.
No, you did. That was a nice putt.
But
yeah, that was a nice putt. So, anyways, it was good to be out. It's good to hear, from the media perspective. Now, are you guys seeing anything with AI that scares you? Like, you hear about, Dario from Anthropic. He's very vocal about where AI might be going and what the fears are if it gets in the wrong hands, right? And so, I think Microsoft is one of the companies. I'm guessing they are. I didn't look at this specifically. That is, they also agreed to any frontier kind of models that come out that they would, give it to the federal government before they would release it to look over or enter into these, self-regulating agreements. So this is a different animal. I mean, it's growing, like you said, at the velocity. I kind of compare it to these crash dummy cars back in the day when they would just drive as fast as you can into the wall and see if you survive. and I think that's kind of what we're doing right now in certain respects, because if it gets into the wrong, country's hands, if it gets in the Trump administration has, pitched this, as the AI, race wars, against China. So.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a literacy when it comes to AI. Just talking about digital literacy and reading literacy, there has to be a certain understanding on many different platforms, whether it's government or personal, private sector, things like that. There needs to be a comprehension of how quickly it could grow.
Right.
I don't know the ins and outs. That's not necessarily in my role, but I do know from the hands-on experience that I do get, it feels like the world is your oyster in the sense of where does the limit stop? Wow. So that could be,
And where do we lose control? So, with the agentic AI not coming out and it has the ability to complete tasks without it being instructed how to complete those tasks, just doing it on its own. So when you have that ability out there, it opens up the doors. And we've seen the different news stories and news clippings out there, how, it would do this in this scenario or do that in this scenario. So, and that's what I appreciated about Ross is, he has that responsible AI,
Yes.
And I think that's so important, right? So there's, and I'm totally behind that. There's a couple other nonprofits across including my former law professor at University of Pittsburgh, the gentleman out in Chicago that has started, 2030, just to bring awareness about what's, we need to be responsible about this at the end of the day. It just can't be the rush to create, because the next level of AI that's coming out past agentic AI is going to be the humanoid. It's going to be, the embedding it into different machines. Mm-hmm. Right now we're seeing the humanoids coming out into the war fields that are out there that are being embedded with AI. But now imagine if they're, running around in civilian life and they have this autonomous ability to go. So it can be scary.
I think you make a great point with the sense of there is a responsibility when it comes to using AI. It could be if you're in the tech field, if you're just starting out, what you put into AI, there's a responsibility that comes with that. So I know on, my role, we do a lot of training. We do a lot of security training. There's governance. There's pillars and parameters of understanding that you do have a responsibility when it comes to this, because until we have, larger infrastructure building those guidelines around it, I think you just have to be responsible with it too.
Well, and that's a good point that you just made, because right now the law is still kind of in its very infant stages. As much as there are laws to be reported, the federal government has not put a uniform law out there. Mm-hmm. They put a framework out there, or we suggest it, and I think the framework hits on a lot of good high notes. But as we've even talked about in our one headline today, there's been 100+ state laws that have been enacted that now this is that patchwork. And again, these AI companies aren't just operating. If they are, I would say it's less than 1%. If you're an AI company, you probably aren't just operating in a very isolated location. You're operating across state lines. Therefore, interstate commerce comes into effect. The AI race, comes into effect. You can put it under the Commerce Clause of the Constitution. Therefore, the federal government comes into effect. I can make the whole legal argument as to why we need a federal uniform law to allow us to compete against China. Because a lot of people say, well, they're a communist country. So, well, yeah, that allows them to operate faster. They have one, government of all those people to have one unified front. So we're kind of competing against ourselves to get out of our own way to compete on a world level. So
I even think historically, 200+ years ago, when the printing press started coming out and people were just publishing any type of news you wanted without any sort of law and regulation. Here we are today where you have laws in place to protect yourself from publishing misinformation and things like that. So I do see a road path going towards that. I think there's absolutely a need for that. And one of the things that I hear when I talk to, family friends about using Copilot or ChatGPT, any tool like that is, well, that told me that. And it's like, well, you also still need to do your due diligence with fact checking and what sources it comes from. Because
such a good point, because the hallucination level is still there.
Hallucinations are very real.
It's gotten better. Mm-hmm. It certainly has. And Copilot has been my assistant when I wrote all my books. So it's one of its strengths. It was great at doing research, but you got to make sure you tell it to give me the URL to that link. I want to see the source that you're drawing upon, because I got to put my own eyes on it too. You just can't rely on it and take it and put it down.
So that's where you can kind of look at AI as being your coworker, not the replacement of you in your role,
right,
where they are pulling those sources and you need to still do your due diligence in verifying those sources. So that's a huge help with doing your book. For me, it's putting newsletters together or emails or broadcasts for my role and verifying that information, because there's still a need for that. But it certainly makes it more efficient.
It does make it more efficient.
In where you can find that information.
I was in New York at this dinner party and they were asking me, did you have AI just write it? I said, no. Look, I handed you my book. It's 500 pages of operational AI governance. AI is
It's
not
thick.
AI is
It's
not
somewhere around here.
AI is not writing how to govern itself. that is this guy telling you no.
We need a couple copy editors.
No, but that is this guy writing that. Now AI was wonderful. Is wonderful, and you mentioned it earlier about organizing it. So when I always was starting to write before, it's always that first part of outlining. Remember when they back in school they got to outline. So, but how do you? You're in the infant stages, so how do you find the flow that works?
For me, I still manually track different ideas based off of having person-to-person conversations. In Teams, we use that virtually for meetings. I use the record and transcribe feature, and Copilot will pull some ideas. And I'll even verbalize into the AI, I'd love to have a conversation about X, Y, and Z, and I'm looking to do some stories related to this topic. Copilot helps me pull those ideas, and then I can start from there. And I'm also more focused into conversations with having features like that in Teams.
It really is a Copilot.
Yeah, it is. Even when Perry was talking about audio clipping earlier, recording our Teams meetings, and where did so-and-so say about this topic earlier, it's easy to jump back to that, pull the quote, and then continue going on versus the manual scrubbing in and out, clipping the audio clips. It's been so helpful in my role in making it more efficient so I can spend time on the actual things that I need to get done.
The more meaningful stuff rather than the repetitive, mundane stuff that just seems to, drag on or used to drag on.
Yes. And I think maybe that's where you were talking about earlier, the scary parts of AI and, autonomous agents. You kind of picture something scary. Those words sound scary, but if you're thinking, I hate cleaning out my email inbox, I would love something to run it for me and say, pull the top 4 people that I engage with in those emails to the top.
Summarize by this.
Summarize it
by
and
task, due date. You can. It's amazing what it can do.
I just got back from maternity leave and had.
By the way, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Adorable.
Thank you. But I was honestly really nervous about coming back after being on leave and what my inbox was going to look like.
Yeah. Because
I have a lot of people that I have to report to and have visibility on the things that they're saying, and having co-work through Copilot helped me prioritize my mailbox, made it a lot less daunting. And that's the manual task that you dread, you put off, you'll do every other thing on your workday, but that made it more efficient so I could get back into
Or
my
when
role.
we used to go through all those emails, were you fatigued at that point? Were you in your right point of mind?
Yes.
So now this makes it a little more efficient so that you can be at your best when you're
Totally.
Dealing with the more constructive ones that need to be dealt with sooner than later, or are very important to what's going on. So obviously there's a lot of junk mail out there too. So it's great to have something that's filtering that out beyond just the normal junk, email folder, right? So and to have, and I'll give this, and this is why I really think Microsoft is so smart to embed it in all of its workflows, not just the emails with Outlook, right, or with the PowerPoint, Word, Excel. Perry and I were talking about, on the Excel, it's amazing. What we used to take, you could fight over a comma or a dash, and is now simplified. Do you want me to set this up for you so you can change the formula? Yeah, of course I would like to set that up so you can change the formula later on. Yeah, please, I would like to see that.
Excel's an amazing tool anyway. Yeah. But when you add in the AI capabilities, it's just because that was the only, you have to think through that logic of what do I want this to do, and now you don't even have to. You still need to know what you want it to do, but you don't have to figure out all the logic.
No, it's kind of like a coder. It's kind of like a coder. If you know what to do, then you know what to ask and how to direct it. So it's a great tool to have. And Microsoft even put their toes in the water with the legal AI product world. They've embedded into their Word document the ability to review documents and point out red flags. I mean, that's That's a major step forward. I mean, I would have loved to have that back when I was in the private practice, because I use Microsoft all the time, and I typed all my own stuff because I can type over 100 words a minute. But that was just kind of a OCD quirk when I was growing up. Just I don't know if you remember those games you'd play and how fast you could type it.
I did it in high school.
Yeah,
I could type. I think
but you were on a typewriter though. That was different.
It was tougher. It was right before the switch over to Apple II,
Right.
Apple IIc or whatever it was had just come out.
Yeah,
And but yeah, we used those IBM typewriters with the ball.
Yep.
It had like a ball. But I can still type 70 words a minute. I was pretty fast. I'm still pretty quick, but not that quick.
Oh, so I had a legal secretary too, but it wasn't a normal relationship. It was more, kind of. She was my co-pilot back then, as far as helping me, be more productive, and that's kind of cool, because instead of now just having to type things out, we could utilize, ourselves to a better, means to an end.
Yep.
There's a running joke in my field of work in communications as a large bubble. We all went into communications because we're not good with numbers. So you won't find us looking at a math book. You won't find us, doing numbers or anything like that. But one thing that I've been using lately, thankfully, to AI tools like Copilot, is measuring my communications through metrics and using Copilot with Excel to crunch numbers and formulas that I would have no idea how to even get started.
Right.
So now I'm seeing, okay, these are landing with 85% open rate based off of these certain topics. Mm-hmm. So I know I need to gear my communications a little bit more towards that, or attendance rates, they're 80%. Maybe we need to change the topics a little bit more. So I'm not a numbers person, but it's making me a numbers person, because it's making it easier for me to understand it and put it together.
It is, because it's able to pull that data so easily, right? So when it comes to email opens, or it comes to, how the conversion rates are going, that stuff is able to be, that is AI, like,
it's helping us quantify a really creative role.
Right.
So,
otherwise, if you had to go out there and manually, count.
Daunting.
Yeah. Did you open that email?
yeah.
Of course I did. No, I didn't. It went right into the trash. Yeah. No, but it's much more accurate because of that, because it can actually tell if somebody did open it or not, and it can draw upon that and give you the feedback immediately in that real time feedback. And then, therefore, you guys can then, adjust on the fly as to what's going to send the message or captivate the message. And I think that's the better, word to probably put it that with what you're doing is to try to engage the folks on the other end of your communication to be able to want to see what's going on.
Yeah, we, even using AI tools to do an end of year recap, what would be like an email at the end of the year. Maybe we pull metrics or really impactful statements, and we turn it into an AI song. And then our audience can watch it and see pictures and sing about like CSAT scores or something.
Talking about singing,
sexy.
Perry and I are hosting karaoke.
I don't know if I'm going to host it, but I'll help you.
You're doing exactly what you do. That is where you're stocking these stilettos and you're on the soundboard.
We're doing, doing podcasts, like things like this,
That's
and
right.
talking about the things that we do in our work. I feel like AI has unlocked a level of creativity that I didn't know was possible when I graduated college, however many years ago.
Me neither. And when we come back, we're going to talk about what those creativity things are, and share a little bit about that, as well as talk about the double-aged Woodford that you brought. This is very good. So cheers, Kacie.
Cheers.
Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thank you.
AI, data, privacy, cybersecurity. Across all 50 states and federal, the law changed overnight. But this morning, you're not scrambling. One coffee, one scroll. Every new development that matters, in plain English, reviewed by an attorney linked to its official government source. That's Docket Daily. The 4 pillars, every morning, one place. Start your free 2-week trial at docketdaily.ai.
And we are back again.
My bad.
No. It's the bourbon. You know, the bourbon does make us do
I think that's
things a little slower or faster.
I think that's what makes the show interesting.
Right? That's the
Well,
twist.
that and our guests. I mean,
Well, and our guest, yeah. I mean, like when we have, Kacie on today, my goodness, we've been talking about AI, we've been talking about Microsoft, we've been talking about.
It's a great conversation.
Yeah, I mean, the real world out there that's going on, and, Microsoft's making headlines. The headlines that make it into even our very truncated headlines that we bring out to the world. So, Kacie, before we get into the Woodford that you brought, this double-aged is very rich.
No, we're into it.
Oh, the bourbon is down, the spirits are going up.
There's no hiding it in that bottle.
No,
There's no label to hide the level.
No, if Louis was here, he'd be like, oh, that's a rich color. It is a rich color, and it's good. And, if you can take a few clips of that before we get into talking about it. But I do want to talk about, before we get too far into the bourbon, you had mentioned, what you're dealing with at Microsoft as far as change management goes. And, especially right now when you talk about the velocity of AI that's coming, forward. Tell me how that's working out. It's even from the textbook times, it has to have changed from what that could have possibly been.
Totally. So I don't think it's unique to Microsoft. I think it should be implemented across the board. Anytime you have a change with any company,
right.
I think there needs to be some sort of an awareness with your people that change is coming. Change is always happening, and it's how you respond to it and how your leadership kind of steps up and says, it's all right, or we're going to take the steps necessary to make sure that you understand what you need to do in your role. So for me, I got ProSci certified with the rest of my team, and I think it complements my role and my skill set really well, because now I have a better understanding of what is it that people need to know when it comes to change or the topic of AI. It's scary, it's uncertain,
and
things
it's ever
like
changing.
that. And it's ever changing, like you said in the headlines, like something is always changing every single day. So it's changed the way I communicate and do my role. Yeah. And it gives me the lens of being on the opposite side of what would I need to know in the world of AI that's applicable to me? Why should I care? Why should I reach out to my manager?
Well, that's a very high EQ kind of level where you're actually now looking at the other side of the coin, and
you have to.
And how do you relate to it, right? So that's awesome. But I've heard it as I've been working with folks and talking with folks out there that there's a large portion of not just in America but around the world that are against AI.
It's a valid feeling, and I think one thing that I have found that has given me solace is spark your curiosity about it. Know that you don't have to be an expert at it to keep your job or be good at your job. Just stay curious and have a willingness to learn.
That's so important.
Will get you a long way.
So important. And what's so important that you mentioned earlier too is Microsoft's willingness to allow you to have a sandbox to experiment with. So there is no, that's the place to try, have the trials and errors.
And dedicated learning time.
Right.
You have a full-time job, and now you have to learn new skills that are rolling out at the speed of light. For me, I put 30 minutes on my calendar once a week to dedicate full-time learning to AI.
And
it's part of the role. It's a part of the awareness. For me, I always like the challenge. Yeah. I don't like being complacent in my role. I think it only helps, my career, my mindset.
I agree.
How I do my job. So that 30 minutes of learning time is encouraged by my team, by my manager, by my organization, my leader. I mean, I could go on from, my team's perspective and my experience, but I think that's important for anybody in any job, whether it's AI or not. Like, just continuing to have that growth mindset is extremely important. in this day and age.
That open mindset to learn and continue to learn is, and we have a lot of young listeners, even though we are an explicit podcast, that are looking to, and I get this question all the time: is what do you recommend that we, that my son or daughter goes to school for, or do you recommend them going to law school? And I said they need to go to school. Definitely go to school, get your base, get your expertise in whatever area it is. Mm-hmm. But continue. The learning does not stop.
True.
And I'm a prime example of it. I mean, I picked back up, and you talked about picking up with all this new stuff. I've been coding now for the last 6 to 8 months, and I had a little bit, and I'm going way back now when I did buyincomeproperties.com. It was HTML. It's even before Python and all the other stuff, But so I knew a little bit about it.
But think about where you started in your career.
Right?
Do you think you'd be here now?
No.
Like coding?
No. And would I think I would be challenged mentally to do something differently? So we talked about, how the gaming, I think coding has become the new addictive thing because you can create. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to know all the underpinnings of it. I mean, this is where these platforms are coming through, and the brilliant minds that trained them are helping us all to be able to create with whatever ideas we have. And we're seeing that out there now.
I remember way back when MySpace, you used to do coding on the back end to make your profile layout change and the colors and the hex colors and things like that. And that was just a dapple. And I'm like, wow, okay, that's, mind blowing at the time. But here we are coding.
How far has it come? MySpace doesn't even exist anymore. I mean, it was the Facebook before Facebook.
Yeah, where's Tom? Right? Where is Tom nowadays?
he took his money and ran before. He doesn't own half of Hawaii like Mark Zuckerberg with a bunker that's ready to survive the biggest fallout since.
But you think about here we are, how many years later, there's so many people that are into coding now.
Right.
That probably didn't see that as a career path. Have probably stemmed from somewhere in engineering. Didn't see that.
It re-sparked my interest, and I'm jumping out of bed. I mean, other than when I was writing my books, I mean, that was the other, and the friends in the audience knew that when I was writing the books, that got me out of my 2 naps a day to down to 1, maybe 0. But the coding has been the next level. So
I think when you were writing Docket Daily, I think I even said to you at one point, I was like, "Have you slept recently?" And you're like, "Well." Claude made me go to bed.
Yeah, he's like,
"You're done, Brad. It's time to take
I think this is a good breaking point.
Time
you
to
need
take
to go
a break,
to bed."
Brad.
I said,
well, glad somebody did.
I'm like, listen, it's 4:00 in the afternoon. What time zone are you on? I said, I usually do take a nap at this point, though. You're spot on. Yeah. So, anyway, sleep's important, but.
Yeah, but you're just passionate about what you're doing. That's all.
Well, and that's so. If you find that passion, right? But I think Kacie's message is so important because I've talked about it, and when we talked about it, I said I even brought out my very first book that I wrote that I've never advertised, and it's I speak often in that is to how change management and that willingness to advance with the times, because I've seen it personally now in probably 3 or 4 different phases. I know you're seeing it even since you were in the media area to where you are today. Mm-hmm. If you were reluctant to say, I'm not going to adopt to the new technology. This is how I've always done it, and this is how I learned how to do it. Well, just because you learned how to do it the first time, I think that's an important lesson, is because we get taught that way. We get our degree that way, right? If you go to college and you're doing that, so
sure.
But what they don't teach you is it's a continuing education.
Completely.
You
talked about earlier about just going to school. It doesn't have to be for a specific thing. I remember going to college and my mom and dad saying, you can do whatever major you want. I know you're passionate about broadcasting, but I want you to have a business background. And at the time, I'm like, I don't love accounting. Right. I struggled through finance.
Right.
But that was a back burner that really helped me down the road.
Solid advice.
I think you need to continue to look at your career that way of like, okay, this is my job. I'm a business program manager in communications, But if I had extra skills that I learned on the back end as a minor, quote unquote, that only makes me more like qualifiable, if that's even a word, down the road. You know what I mean?
Well,
and knowing a little bit about a lot, especially in AI, like, hey, I know a little bit about Copilot, but I may not be coding like Brad is till 5 a.m. But that helps me.
But you know what's
be
cool,
marketable.
It's cool about it is you don't have to know a lot. You just start the journey. And I've been trying to push that message to a few gentlemen, including one that's sitting in the room. You just start the journey, you know? And once you start the journey, it actually walks you through it. It's almost like having your teacher be there with you, walking you through your project that you're doing. You know, and it's so cool to have it that way because as you're doing it, you learn it. And certainly you start, you know, banking the information that you learn and you realize that you can start building off of that when you're starting to ask questions down the line. And that's worked for me. And I think a lot of people out there are finding it that way. And you know, I thought when my kids were younger, they needed to learn how to code. And I said, you know, just go learn how to code. That is and the fear out there right now is, well, AI has replaced folks that know how to code. I really don't think so. I think if you have that background, I think you're that much more valuable. As long as you're much more valuable than AI alone, you're bringing value to the table because now you know how to use it. Now you know the questions to ask. You know, yeah, maybe that AI is being trained on all these different, you know, experts, but you're the other expert sitting at the table, and that really adds to it. And you're the expert that's reacting in real time that is realizing with the EQ level, which I don't know if AI is ever going to get there.
You don't even have to work in technology to try AI. You know, for instance, there's, you know, the medical field now is really taking off in AI.
Is it
if
not?
you had a background in AI, I bet that would help with, you know, taking your notes or recaps
All you have to
extremely quickly.
Go on to Indeed or LinkedIn and look at the jobs that if you pull up AI or biopharmacy, or you pull up AI and health research, and, you know, these areas are exploding. And I've always said from day one that AI is going to make the biggest impact that we're all going to see on the health field. And Eric, and you know, when we bring you on in the fourth and fifth segment, you and I can talk about that because, you know, it has already, you know, when AI can now go out there and, you know, the PhDs out there, they had to do all the research before. They would have to go draw upon all these white papers. They'd have to research. They'd have to go thumb through them. Even if you have the cliff notes to them and the summaries, you're still not getting all the context. Well, AI is different. It can read every line. It can dissect 50,000 white papers at one time and cross-reference, synthesize, figure out where the commonalities are, where the differences are, and where the next A plus B equals C. And that's where the health field is. In the biopharmacy, you know, you talk about the pharmaceuticals, you know, they're already coming out with all these crazy. The problem with the health field is things take time to move through, so we're not going to see it immediately. But in the testing and in the infant stages, it's exploding.
Yeah, I would encourage people to take a look at AI and not be scared of it and see how it can apply to your day-to-day life.
Yeah.
What is the simplest task that you need to do that maybe could replace that or help you?
Yeah.
For instance, we were talking about healthcare. Pull your health notes summary from your doctor's appointment and put it in a secure,
So important.
I want to classify that secure AI environment and say, what does this mean to me, and put it in layman terms.
Well, when Kacie says that, I mean, the fear is, you know, and there's been fears. And when you have ChatGPT, when people were putting what they thought were and I actually wrote an article on that to say that, you know, I think if people are having these intimate conversations with their AI, it should be considered one of those private, you know, it should not be leaked. Well, there was conversations from ChatGPT that end up actually getting pulled up on Google search. And that's, you know, that's about as unsecure as income, right? So that's an extreme moment, but we should be cognizant of that. You know, when you're talking back and forth, and there's, of course, you know, we talk about the dumb criminals. There's them too that are out there, and I'm sure if you haven't seen the Dateline stories, but there's them like, all right. so I did this, and so what's the best way to not kick?
The best way to hide a body.
Well, guess what? That's discoverable. Way to go, genius.
Yeah.
But, so yes, I think the ongoing learning is so important. I think, learning to be safe about it too, though, because that's, especially with my attorney background, I'm talking with these law firms now, and, there's different ways to do it. You can silo it. You can have, companies like Google and AWS, or with Azure and AWS's cloud platforms, they're now bringing it on site, and that was one of the the fears where things would migrate off, and you have this data migration, and you lose the privacy or you lose the security of it, right? So I think things are evolving, but they're evolving. So we're in the middle of the wild, wild west when it comes to this technological boom. And it really is a big boom, like the fireworks that were going off just a couple nights ago.
Did you see them at Mac Park?
Yes, we did. It's the first time. In fact, it's the first time, Tanya was like, what? She insisted we played on the 4th of July tournament. So we had the,
Way to go win that.
We did have to go place in that.
I don't think we won, but we won our little side bet for charity.
We
win that.
We beat all three teams, and the Chevy Chase Center is the benefactor of our
efforts.
Our efforts, So bourbon does pay off.
Yeah, it does. You're welcome.
But also on that note, Per, and God, I don't know where I was going.
Oh, you were talking about the fireworks.
No, the fireworks. Yes.
Yeah.
I never get.
I'm here to keep you on track, my friend.
Thanks, brother. I never did get to light off Cardi's fireworks, but by the time I came back, I was exhausted. They're still sitting in the corner.
Well, there's always tonight.
I'm sure. I'm sure that's.
I'm sure the neighbors.
I know.
I thought this was over.
Yeah, I thought this was over on Friday and Saturday. No.
I'm just getting started.
This is Microsoft 365, baby. It never ends. Anyways,
but you were talking about the fireworks at Mac Park.
Yeah, so that was
Tanya.
So Tanya insisted, and I don't know, she had a little bit of firework under her this weekend. So she insisted we played in and I'm a PM golfer, that. So the AM start at 9 a.m. was like a little. Even had to get Johnny up, It was good to see you and Natalie just crawling on the bed,
I told him that we decided we were just going to keep smacking balls into his house until they woke up.
Yeah, it sounds like
Luckily,
work.
we didn't have to do that.
Sounds like work.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyways, but so we did that. Then we kayaked.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
What was supposed to be like 4 or 5 miles was 7.5. Yeah,
it was a bit of a surprise.
A little bit.
Tanya said you and Quinn paddled very quickly to get to the end.
We did. We thought it was an hour and a half trip.
It's not a race, Brad.
Well, it's not a 3 or 4 hour voyage either. And I didn't even wear a hat, so I knew I was going to get sunburnt, I'm like, I am out there. And after the first mile, we hit the first bridge. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got 6.5 miles to go yet. I am sweating. Yeah. And then I did the splits, in the middle of the...
I love to see that.
I mean, it was...
What were you wearing on your feet? Did you have just tennis shoes?
Well, I had my sandals slides on, so they were off, so I was just barefoot in the...
Yeah, then you're on like a mossy covered
It was moss,
water.
and there was no...
Slimy and slippery.
Zero balance,
Did you see any fish?
Yeah.
Snakes?
They were actually... no. I was looking for the snakes. Saw the fish jumping.
Nice. Should have taken your fishing pole.
I should have. But we'd have to stay still for a little while. We were flying. I'm like, Quinn, if we just go 6 miles an hour, we'll get down there in about an hour and a half.
He's doing the math in his head. Where's my spreadsheet when I need it?
I know.
Yeah.
I did not need that. So, and we passed.
Did you go through Salzburg?
This is Salzburg. Yes, they drive you up the road and they just drop you off like Deliverance.
Who the hell was I just talking to?
Good luck. You can kind of hear the banjos playing in the background. You don't even need any background music.
I was just talking to somebody that does the same thing, and I can't think of who the hell it was.
It was awesome, Paris. So until we got to this guy that was in the middle of the river fishing, and Quinn and I are like, We're like the Cambridge rowing team, you know, coming down.
Like, having any luck? See ya.
He looks over, he goes, well, that's different. And I'm like, I said, Quentin, were you a little troubled by just the fact that's all he said?
You should have documented this trip. What are you thinking?
Well,
We need to get a GoPro with a hat clip he can put
Harry,
on his
I
hat.
think you need to just pull the description, put it in like an AI generator.
Seriously.
I think you'll get an image
I think
very quickly.
yeah, I'm pretty sure all of our
That could
equipment,
be your thumbnail.
Brad on the river.
our equipment would have been waterlogged by the time I got back. Kinda
River
like me.
Mitch. River Mitch.
Well, and then
gonna
I'll leave the story at this. Okay, they tell you that there's this like there's a first bridge in the first mile and there's a second bridge at the last mile, and that's what you're looking for. At least that's what I was looking for.
The second bridge.
I'm just trying to get my bearings right.
That's funny.
So,
But did you have fun? That's good family bonding, right?
Quinn and I definitely had fun. We had a great conversation out there, and but we got towards the end, and I'm like, and there's this old pillars from the bridge.
Oh, in Salzburg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's no bridge. I'm like, I said, Quinn, do you think that was the bridge that we're referring to, or do we still have to go further? God, I hope that's the one.
That's it.
And then after that, you're looking for the right, cement, and you got to stop. Mind you, the river,
Yeah, it's a river.
it's cascading at times, and it was rippling at times too. But
Yeah, because it's only like a foot deep.
pretty much, that's
Well, at least you don't have to worry about drowning.
well, unless you're
What was that?
face down.
Oh,
I wasn't drinking bourbon,
There's
so
this-
I was completely sobered in this whole thing.
maybe that's part of the problem.
Right. So, anyways, we did get there. We were able to stop. First of all, if anybody's doing the Salzburg trip, those pillars are not the bridge. It's another mile down the road, or river.
funny.
I guess it is on a road.
That's pretty funny. I'm gonna go kayaking now.
Oh yeah, you got to do it. I mean, it's complete deliverance. In fact, this old sawmill. This old sawmill.
It's a perfect opportunity to dub that music in over this.
Right?
Video.
This old sawmill in Salzburg, they clearly made them put the lipstick on the pig, because on Salzburg there, the post office is right across the road, and they put the siding on this sawmill, right? But it's just like
because I've probably never seen it because I've never been on the river.
yeah. So the backside is the old sawmill. It's all rusted out. It's old. It's like
Oh, so it's all facade on the front.
it's all facade.
I got it.
I mean, they just put this fake siding over it that has nothing behind it. And I'm like, oh, this is a perfect place for a haunted house.
Brad's already
Right?
thinking about Halloween.
Eric,
Oh, yeah. He worries about Halloween on
E-boy over there is going, yeah, he knows.
October.
Yeah.
I mean, he grew
Yes.
up.
November
He knows.
1st.
He grew up with the casket. He grew up with the.
When he told me he owned a casket, I thought he was bullshitting.
No.
And then he actually had it at the haunted house. I was like, "You really do have a casket?" He goes, "Yeah, I told you I had one." I was like, "Oh, yeah. Well, I never met anybody that owned a casket before, unless they were already,
Yeah,
gone."
it's estate planning 101.
So we're at 24 minutes. You want to take a break and talk about the bourbon, or do
Yes.
you want to try to talk about the
I know.
bourbon?
We always got to come back to the bourbon, don't we?
It's like herding cats. And
Or like I say, it's like hurting second year kindergartners.
Here's the thing: if we start talking about the bourbon, now that conversation is going to meander, and we're going to run short on time. So,
All right.
I would just assume. So
All right, let's
we're at 24 minutes.
Sorry, Casey, for
Okay. Brad's thinking live from the casket this October.
Well, I've known Brad for 6 or 7 years now, and I'm still trying to figure out how his brain works.
Oh, you don't want to get in that mess.
Tell you what, that first Halloween when they invited us over for the party, I'm like, there is a casket.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
And it's nice.
Oh, it's very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I mean, the
How
scratching.
much for the casket?
Very nice. How much?
How much?
Ma!
Meatloaf.
And on that note,
No, we
Bonus clip.
We just ran them off all the great movies all at once.
oh no, there's a few more, but I probably can't say them on air.
Oh, we're explicit. We can say whatever.
Not Blazing Saddles.
Oh, no, you're right. You can't say that.
There's not very many quotes from that. Although there is my favorite quote, which is, "Men, you are about to embark on a great crusade to wipe out runaway goodness in the West." Harvey Korman.
Harvey Korman.
Classic.
Oh, classic, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll be right back after this, and when we come back, we are going to talk about this wonderful bourbon.
Yeah, because the level in the bottle will be noticeably lower. In the
Oh,
next
it will
segment,
be.
I'm sure. Because
Oh, it
I know
will
I'm
be.
having some, and Ian's out, Eric's out. Yeah.
Yeah, and Eric doesn't. He free balls it.
We're only in segment 3. He does. He does not use ice. He drinks it neat. He drinks it
He
neat.
does.
He's a true.
I don't know where that came from, but it just came out.
He's a bourbon expert.
I think as Louis would say, I just hit optimum.
And
I'm going to try to stay away from me, Asshole while we go to fifth segment.
Greg Privish. We're only going to 4.
Oh,
This is 3.
all right. Let me roll that back. I feel like the current in the river just got me. We'll be right back after this.
AI, data, privacy, cybersecurity. Across all 50 states and federal, the law changed overnight. But this morning, you're not scrambling. One coffee, one scroll. Every new development that matters, in plain English, reviewed by an attorney linked to its official government source. That's Docket Daily. The 4 pillars, every morning, one place. Start your free 2-week trial at docketdaily.ai.
And we are back. We just had a little mini karaoke session, I gotta be honest. And Michael Myers made an appearance here in July.
He did.
Oh my goodness, you can only imagine what's coming in October.
Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, that's gonna be so fun.
We should have the smoke machine here blowing
Oh,
smoke.
there's gonna be smoke. There's gonna be a casket. There's gonna be bourbon.
What a combination. And
Everything
Michael
you would
Myers.
expect at a great mock funeral. Right? So,
like
anyways, back to life.
The master of the segue.
I know, right? That was pretty smooth. Hey, by the way, we should probably talk about the great double-aged Woodford that
Speaking of
Kacie
smooth.
and Ian brought for us today. That is, the bourbon's down and the spirits are clearly up. And I'm not just talking about the spirits. I'm talking about these spirits.
That bourbon went down considerably from at the end of the last segment.
Well, and I
But
think
there's
that
like
is-
several of us. There's 5 or
Well,
6
and
of us drinking.
there is a guy that's back from Nova Scotia too.
Yeah,
That-
back.
Welcome back on the set, big dog.
We noticed there was a noticeable difference in the consumption of bourbon during the recording of the show when you weren't here for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Just saying.
I can imagine.
Not
And
that, not that we don't approve of you going away.
Well,
but
like I mentioned,
we missed you.
He's a
I missed you too.
He's a we missed you.
I did.
There's no doubt we missed you.
I
know?
missed you.
Yeah, at least we kept in touch on the text chain. And
We did.
Did you end up
Should
getting?
I switch seats?
No.
You're good.
She's a natural.
I didn't miss him that much.
Well, hold on a second.
Let's keep him across the border, right?
Cheers, Mitch.
Welcome back, E.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate
No,
you.
and thank you for that. Eric also dropped a bottle of Eagle Rare 10 on us.
Yep, that'll be next week.
Yeah,
We will have to dive into that next week.
I think we have to. Yeah,
Or later this week or something.
or something.
Well, that's kind of where this is kind of unique because we had the 4th of July special. Now we have the special with the Kacie. This is awesome. I love having, and we talk about change management. I think that's kind of how we had to change, right? So we just kind of changed on the fly.
Yeah.
If we just said no, I'm sorry, Kacie, we only film on Wednesdays. Like,
Like what the hell?
Your
else?
loss.
What the hell? Else
I'm
do we have
getting
to do?
back down
Change your flight.
south.
100% worth the change. Yeah.
Oh, it's so worth it, right? So
Having intriguing, interesting guests on is that's 3/4.
Oh, it is, and I think your story's so it has to resonate with so many young folks out there, because those that are figuring out their career paths right now, it's a fuzzy cloud. You talk about cloud, and we put cloud smoke up there, or cigar smoke. Trying to see through that career cloud that is out there right now. There's new opportunities being created as a result. There's the creative level. So when you talk about the creativity, if you have anything you want to create, Eric, you and I have talked about, a couple of things on your palette that, although you're very busy as well. So, it's like, when do you find time, right?
Yeah, it's kind of hard sometimes, yeah.
But you did kind of rewrite
But I did.
Math is God's mind.
I did. Started again because it wasn't working. Kat, you're in your role. When things aren't working, you got to make that pivot. You got to make that change, and I did that.
Well, and that's bold, because you know what?
I spent hours.
Well,
Sometimes it's necessary.
Yeah.
If you're not like fully set on a way that something's going to be conveyed, it's almost better to just start from scratch.
Yeah.
You could take bullet points from your original thought, but I think it'll flow much better.
Yeah.
I think it already is. And you know what? I think where the struggle with, you talk about change management, and you talk about just pivoting, from anything you're doing, it's the ego. Doesn't the ego just sometimes get in the way? Didn't I know better the first time? Am I going to self-correct myself now, or listen to somebody else to self-correct myself now? And I think that's the biggest part of change management is figuring out where to check your ego.
At the door.
Well, that's, I think, an open mind, right? So if you can sometimes just step back out of your body and have that outer body experience and look back and say, what is the best interest for everything around me right now in this situation?
Someone wrote a book called Distancing. I can't remember the name of the author, but there was a book called Distancing, and it's the same idea. Working with teams. I'm not quite sure how that works in Microsoft, but essentially it's about, before you can even get to the strategy piece, you got to let the ego go. And you kind of, his example was, in the book, it was a consultant, but he was talking about these teams trying to figure out the strategy, whatever strategy it might be. And he says, okay, first write about your self experience on the dance floor. What do you experience? Then he takes it to a different level. He says, you're on the balcony. So from the balcony perspective, what do you see on that dance floor? And once people see it from a completely different perspective, now they're able to resolve and go through the process of resolving any issues that they have, but actually moving towards a strategy. And that's kind of an interesting way of looking at it. But that's about leaving the ego at the door. It's the most important thing. And I really like what you said earlier about your passion. And I think you can have both. Leave the ego, create the passion. And that's a good mix.
Well, it's a great mix, and even when talking with Ross, you could tell he had a very fondness in working with you. So you left an impression on him. And that was almost 2 years ago. So you were very early on with Microsoft at that point. So it's important. It's important in anybody's career, So if you can be that team player that's figuring out the next step, especially in these uncertain times. I think we're all operating. I don't know any industry right now that isn't. And we talked about the health. We talked about, you get into all the regulated, industries, health, insurance, finance. They're all uncertain. We have the Clarity Act that we talked about last week. That's still uncertain with the, with the blockchains and the cryptos out there. So, we need clarity. And if you don't have clarity, so how do you figure it out? You have to figure it out within amongst yourselves and your team, and have the flexibility to react.
And communication is probably the most important piece.
Yeah, I think about my team and how diverse of skill sets we have and are on the same team together, and having that experience and bringing those conversations to the table and those different perspectives of how would this type of employee feel, or a manager, how should they communicate that to that type of employee? It doesn't even have to be in the technology field,
right?
To want to have a broader perspective of how change can impact people.
It can.
whether that's AI, whether that's anything, downsizing, growing, you name it. I think there's a really strong importance of having different perspectives from that, and you can only benefit from it.
Well, I will say that I'm one of the prime examples. It's taken a long time for me to realize that change sometimes is good, because I try to control things. It's my OCD, it's my type A personality where I want to be in control. And when I finally realized sometimes there's a better time just to let go of that control and try to figure out the best way to react to it.
True.
And it's a life lesson that it took me till, my midlife years now, and I wish I would have learned that earlier on, to be honest. I was very reluctant back then. I always thought I figured it out. I figured it out,
Eric and I just talked about that about a half an hour ago.
I was just gonna say,
Well, we about how there's just certain things that there are things you can control and things you can't, and the things that you can't, you have to set aside and manage or deal with them, and the things you can, you do.
Yeah, and
Otherwise, you make yourself miserable because you fret about the things that you can't control, and they consume you.
Earthquakes.
Yeah, we were talking
Japan.
about earthquakes. Yeah,
that reminds me of another good song.
Of course. I'll say, I'll chime in here real quick to Perry's
Please.
point about the things you can control and not control. We don't know what AI will do in the future. We know that it's going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to evolve. Mm-hmm. But here's what I can control as a person, as an employee. Mm-hmm. I can learn about it. I can ask my colleagues about it. I can try to upskill. I could try to say that change is effervescent. It's always going to continue to happen. Well, so I can't stop the train, but I can control how I'm going to react to it, to your point.
And the train's moving, right? So the train's moving. So if you aren't jumping on right now, you're probably going to get left behind in the dust. And it's not to say the world isn't going to change for you that much, but I think if you're looking for the advancements in the world that are being offered to you right now, or the ability to advance, mm-hmm. and I hear that question, a lot. If I was coming out of college right now, what would I be looking to do? Is there a way to get there's no way to harness AI right now. It's changing. It's in the very, very brilliant minds that are, and even the AI itself is now inferencing and getting better at the models and the learning and how to advance to the next level. And we kind of hinted on the quantum, and mm-hmm. Eric, you and I have had conversations about that, right? As to whether quantum explains, consciousness. Mm-hmm. In that article in Popular Mechanics, that consciousness may be the only real thing there is, and maybe we're just antennas.
Maybe we're just antennas.
I know.
I don't know if that's the case, but I think.
But does it mean that we're just drawing into it, or maybe we know how to draw into it, or is it like a Bluetooth kind of thing? I mean, I'm trying to put it into perspective of what we would know today in our technology as to what this author was trying to. It kind of hit a chord with me, though.
Yeah, I think there's the innate things that we do just because we do them, and there's things that we think about that what we do. So, you think about animals and sea otters or something I'm really into now. Actually, I'll tell you that story later.
Is that because of Nova Scotia, or just because you're...
No, my wife is really into these sea otters in Vancouver, and they're amazing creatures, and you can adopt them. And anyway,
well, they're kind of like puppy dogs, to be honest.
They are. They're amazing creatures, but they learn. I mean, but they swim, right? They're born, they're pups, but they learn how to swim quite quickly. Like deer can walk, maybe not the best, right? Kind of, and what you were talking about, those blobs, the green blobs, whatever they were, yeah, and how they just kind of maneuvered around that purple light, right? Because they had to. They don't like it, but they had to. It's something they had to do. I think humans maybe have a little bit higher purpose than that, because, okay, does a sea otter dream about God? What's their religion? I don't know. I don't think that.
Well, there's the argument on animals as a whole, right? So,
yeah.
But The other article I read this week kind of made me think about you as you were crossing the Canadian border.
With no bourbon for 2 weeks.
Right?
You should have smuggled some in.
I failed.
You probably still would be there
I failed.
in prison.
I would have been.
No, but what else made me think about you was shit. There goes the bourbon.
My train's off the track now.
The train's still moving down the track. I just missed the station.
You missed the stop.
You missed the bridge.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not the 2 concrete blocks.
Yeah, it's not the pillars.
Yeah.
The pillars.
You missed the bridge.
It's kind of like watching those drunks in the New York Times station.
The only difference is we don't put a paper bag around our bottle. Although we probably could.
We probably could. Might need to.
I'll tell you what, while you're trying to regain...
Let's talk about the bourbon.
let's talk
While
about
I
the
figure
bourbon.
out.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
No, because there is a message I want to talk to Eric about. Because I know. No.
Go for it. Just
Oh,
go.
there it was, and there it goes.
Wow, that's a high-performance mind right there.
It's unbelievable.
It was another
You need to
article.
steer the ship.
Steer the ship.
It's like the kayak, you know.
Once we get this far in,
There I am doing the splits in the middle of the river again.
once we get this far in, it's kind of like there's no point in steering now.
You could have one paddle.
Right? Thank
Paddle
God he's only
around.
got one paddle.
Paddle on the
Yeah.
circle because he's always paddling on the same side.
That's the only thing I didn't want to see floating down the river.
Paddle?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Woodford Reserve
I'm
Double
like,
Oaked.
holding on to that for life.
Queen, where's my paddle?
So it's
Dad's
like-
back there.
So I'm
Did
like,
you say the creek is like 1 foot deep?
well, yeah, at that point. But,
There was no risk of him drowning. Let's put it that.
well, no, there was. Because, I mean, it was very slippery. I mean,
You had splits.
it was like being on all this different
Well,
uneven.
if you'd have slipped and like cracked your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
that
kind of what I was
could've-
thinking, you know?
So that was.
And I'm trying to hold on to this paddle like it's the, you know, it's He-Man's sword coming out. I'm not letting go.
Woodford Double Oaked.
It's delicious.
I just can't do it.
I think it sells itself. I got to be honest. Do we really need to talk? Yeah, we
The
do.
bourbon?
We do need to talk about it. Let's bring it in, Pear.
So, in the words of SpongeBob, 2 hours later.
Hours.
So that's a delicious bourbon. Thank you, Kacie, for,
Yes.
for
You're
bringing that.
welcome.
It's very good.
Very good.
I don't think I've ever had this, and I know this is
is
one
lovely.
of. I think this is one of Pribish's go-tos.
Well, he's mentioned it before, and I know I've not.
This
had
and the Jefferson's Ocean are like
it.
the two of his favorites.
yeah.
Jefferson.
So they age it. I think it's a minimum 4 years, right, Eric,
Mm.
to be considered a bourbon, and then they take it and they secondary age it in a fresh barrel, a fresh charred barrel
the double
for
oak.
another year.
For a double oak.
Yeah, so it adds more of the caramely vanilla that you get from the oak, and it smooths it out. I mean,
Louis would say there's cinnamon, but there's no cinnamon in this.
he tastes cinnamon. I think he's full of shit. It's 94 proof. It's an easy. That's a as you can tell by the level in the bottle. It's
Yeah,
a pretty
it's
easy
down.
bourbon to
Yeah.
drink. It's very. What do you think, Eric? What do you-
Super
what are your thoughts?
caramelly. I love it.
Yeah, it is.
Vanilla, caramel.
Very sweet.
It's a lovely bourbon. I appreciate you for bringing that. It's lovely.
Of course, yeah. So my husband and I live in Nashville now,
Mm-hmm.
so Tennessee is very big on the whiskey.
it
But
is.
you know, this is a bourbon podcast, so we had to steer ships a little bit,
No,
or
but you
steer
also-
the paddle.
You're right next door to Kentucky. Right?
But
Right
Tennessee-
next door to Kentucky.
So let's talk about how Tennessee saved Kentucky from the flood.
Oh yeah, we were talking
All
about
hail
that.
Tennessee. No, seriously. I don't know the story, to be
Well,
honest.
no, but
And
the-
my husband knows the story,
No, but the story I think was that the Buffalo Trace
Buffalo
factory.
Trace Distillery had
Kentucky River.
the river washed away part of their rick house.
Well, it washed away a lot of it. I mean, it was the waters rose, and all this great bourbon that they've been storing and
Washed down river, and a bunch of lucky people got barrels of it.
Yeah.
down river.
like, hey, you're not gonna believe
Hey,
what
look what we found.
you can't believe what I caught today
The
on
whole
the river.
barrel of powder.
I mean,
It was a big loss.
it was biting. I mean, I got 20 barrels.
Eric said they did, or Ian said that they did recover most, if not all of it, right? But some of it wasn't usable because of what was in the water. You know, I hate to think about it. That'd be like barrels washing down one of the rivers in Pittsburgh. You're probably not going to want to drink it.
Probably the river I was kayaking down.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Got to be honest, my feet were glowing.
But so you being in Tennessee, so whiskey is a bigger, more popular drink in Tennessee than bourbon.
Tennessee whiskey.
The Tennessee whiskey.
All you gotta do is ask Chris Stapleton.
Yes,
That's
Chris
true.
Stapleton has a great one.
Yeah.
Jason Aldean. A
All Dean
lot
all day, right, P?
How do they compare? So you've obviously had some of these. I mean, how do they? How do they compare to the bourbons? Like,
You know what? This bourbon is really smooth, and I'm not a huge bourbon drinker. I prefer whiskey, but I also have to mix my whiskey. I tend to go with a Sprite with lime or something like that to kind of break it up.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
this you could drink just with, the ice cube.
Yeah.
No, exactly what you're saying is how I started out. I was not a whiskey or bourbon. Like you told me just drink it on the rocks. I'd be like, no. So Tanya finally got me back to. She said, "You know what? You need to grow some hair on your chest." I'm like, I shave it.
So what's the saying?
I don't even understand.
All bourbons are whiskeys, but not all whiskeys are bourbons, right? I
think that's
the
true.
thing. So
I-
it has to do with the mash bill, where the water comes from, how long it's aged. And I'm not sure how that compares to whiskey, but I know it. The distillation process and the aging process are very similar.
Yeah,
But I'm not an expert on.
I think it's mash bill. I think mash bill, and it's
Originally, it had to be
bourbon.
It had to be from Kentucky.
Kentucky bourbon. Yeah. Now you have New York, you've got Illinois, you've got
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
So
known for the rye.
Yeah, known for the rye, and that's hence the Bessemer.
From
Cliff
Pittsburgh
Forest
Distillery.
and Iron City Distilling that we are going to. And Peter, I haven't forgot about you, brother.
We're going to film an episode there.
No, we are, and
be
we're
cool.
definitely going to film an episode. I want to get through our summer of turbulence and get to closer to when their bourbons are coming out, because it's so great to see somebody taking an initiative to bring that back here close to home, right?
He's done a great job. John gave me an Iron City Heavy when we stopped after 8, I think, on Saturday.
Doesn't he give you the heavy every morning when you come in and have your coffee?
He gives me. He usually just gives me the finger. He usually just gives me the finger. That's how we greet each other in the morning.
The bird.
Yeah.
I've been stressing to Krebs to get more furniture.
Well, we're working on it. John's going to put that requisition in when he has the opportunity. But they
Clearly, he doesn't want to.
he gave me an Iron City. Of course. He gave me an Iron City. It was very good. I haven't had one of those forever.
Right?
It was good.
Oh, I know.
Very good.
Wow.
Well, that Iron
Yeah.
City, what was it, mango?
Icy light mango.
Oh, yeah.
Mango.
That's good too.
That was pretty delicious.
Yeah. As it cracks open a Coors Light.
The icy light, was it lime too, John?
That's Bush Light.
That was Bush Latte.
Bush latte.
The lattes, you can't go wrong with those.
So what's our final thoughts on the Woodford?
So let's talk about
that's
the
a
double
top,
H. I can definitely taste it.
That's one of the best
Louis
ones we've had.
would have said the color would have captivated him.
and the bottle. It's a good bottle.
And the bottle's
it's
a
distinctive
great,
bottle.
That's a little thicker, right?
Yeah.
A little shorter.
It does have a darker color than some of the one. Maybe it's the bottle. I don't know, but
No, I do think it has a darker color because I was looking
it's
at
probably the double oaking.
This is
our
lovely.
pre-drink
Yeah.
compared to this one, and there was definitely a differentiation,
Dear.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is lovely.
It's really good.
First time I've had this. This is.
I would highly recommend you to put this on the shelf. I'm going to have to put it on the shelf.
Yeah, and
That's right up there with some of our. I mean, we've talked about some of the ones we've had. Like I think we all really liked the piggyback.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. The that Penelope Rio was like.
Oh,
that was-
well, we got
But we don't have the Rio. But
No, we had the
Oh,
other.
the Architect.
Architect.
Sorry,
We
Architect.
both the Architect regular and the Architect Golf. So
So, but that's definitely right. That's right up there. That's really good.
It's really good.
Yeah, I'm not a big bourbon drinker, but I enjoyed that.
I'm not a big bourbon drinker either. I gotta be honest.
Now you're not being honest. You're not being
The
honest.
guy with the bourbon podcast.
I tell you, I'll be honest with you.
I'm just getting back on the horse.
Right.
We just had the baby.
Yeah.
We're getting back on the train.
I hear you, Case.
I think it's great.
But it's great.
I think it's great to see women drinking bourbon. And I don't know if that's
like
the
I
sexist
said,
thing to say, but like it's
before-
generally it's
well,
kind of a guy's drink.
Before our GP and Greg Cepas got me into bourbon, Tanya was the first.
Tanya.
I mean, that was
Kacie.
Yeah,
And we even got Christy K, although I think that was her first time.
that was our very first bourbon.
That was your first bourbon? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
Wow.
You can't, yeah.
Were you here?
No,
She
I
here?
was
You
I
missed
was
it.
I was in
Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia. Yeah, I was in the
That was a good-
non-bourbon capital of the world.
That was a good show.
It was a
That was
good.
a
Yeah,
really
I'm
good
looking
show.
forward to watching that.
That was
Yeah.
good. Yeah, you should watch it.
Yeah.
She's got big
But,
things happening out in LA. Good.
Good for
She
her.
does.
Yeah, congratulations, Chris.
She keeps threatening to drag us out to LA, which would be
Yeah,
pretty cool.
she'll regret that.
If she's still speaking to us after the show, we're probably
No.
we'd do all right.
We would have a lot of fun. I would be happy to go to LA other than for clients. That was the last time I was in LA as a federal court.
Oh, really? Oh, how about this time? How about this time it'll be for fun?
Oh, thanks. Are we on air now?
We are. We're on air.
Attaboy,
I gave Ian one job.
One job.
He's catching up.
I like that.
But anyway, yes,
So,
excellent.
So, Case, you
excellent
understand?
bourbon.
You understand why we have the leg in the background, right?
No, she doesn't need to know that.
Yeah, she.
Oh, we're out of time. Look at that.
No, I thought you've always had the leg.
Maybe.
Kind of, but not really. This is a different leg
All right, we're gonna get a break.
for the first one.
Gotta wrap it up.
So, Harry shows up at Halloween, which is my favorite.
Okay. Yes.
He knows what's coming.
I said. Brad, go.
Oh, I'm going. So, initially, I thought I ordered this fragile leg.
Fragile. It must
Yeah.
be Italian.
No, it came from Indiana, PA.
So my wife decided we were going to go to Halloween dressed as Hugh Hefner and a Playboy bunny, and I was the Playboy bunny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll show you the pictures off air. Although everybody in the freaking world's seen them at this
they-
point. But
Wow.
And by the way, we've been holding back in that minute and 40-second beautiful commercial I put together of you. I am throwing that on air.
thank God. Thank God we
Sponsored
can't.
ad.
Thank God we can't defeat OnlyFans security.
Right? Oh, the glossiness of the
So-
Pennsylvania license.
So I dressed up as a Playboy bunny, and
We took 6 photoshops and we got turned down by OnlyFans 6 times.
yeah, we had to take selfies with your driver's license, and then together and apart, and we did all this stuff. And
Yeah.
it's still. So Brad threatened him
And I gotta
he threatened him with the discrimination laws.
I said, listen, you are just discriminating against my man that loves to dress in drag.
So yeah,
Harry.
I dressed up like the Playboy bunny. I got a prosthetic chest, fishnet stockings.
Yeah. Size 13 stilettos.
Yeah, size 13.
Anyways,
Wow.
we had it cloned, and that if you look over Perry's shoulder,
That's Perry's leg.
that is Perry's leg.
Perry's leg.
It did kind of look like that. I'll show you the picture.
Perry's leg.
Because if I don't, Brad will. So
And that was manufactured in Indiana.
That was manufactured in Indiana by Krebs.
oh, you're. Now you're just telling stories.
Take that 3D printer.
And on that note, So we are at 27.
All right.
Let's regroup the silliness and we'll wrap this up and say
Okay, let's stop having fun.
Here we go.
AI, data, privacy, cybersecurity. Across all 50 states and federal, the law changed overnight. But this morning, you're not scrambling. One coffee, one scroll. Every new development that matters, in plain English, reviewed by an attorney linked to its official government source. That's Docket Daily. The 4 pillars, every morning, one place. Start your free 2-week trial at docketdaily.ai.
And we are back in the Bourbon Studios. And if you noticed, our guest has left.
I think she's probably like, yeah, okay, I'm done with this.
Yeah, she's like, I think fifth segment is not for me. No, but Kacie and Ian have been wonderful. They have two young, beautiful babies, and this was kind of a date night. They got a little bit of a reprieve, right? So
Yeah.
I feel very special. We were joking when we bumped into Kacie, and it's funny, she was joking, I was joking, but then I'm like, you know what? 6 o'clock Monday, let's make it work.
Yeah.
And
She was a great guest.
yeah, she was. She was awesome, right? So
Very smart. She's so articulate when she speaks. I mean, she's got an excellent speaking.
no, she does. I mean, if
She's
the
in the right career.
Oh yeah, and if the tech world doesn't work out for her, my goodness, she's right back in. I mean, she'll be a nationalist, international journalist.
And what our viewers don't know is that I don't know her parents as well as I know his parents, but I kept calling him Eric because he looks exactly like Eric.
Well, E-boy.
Exactly like his dad.
That's Ian. So we still call him E because he's Ian.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Nice kid.
yeah, and he, that's where we go back. So he, they were our next door neighbors when we moved to Indiana.
Great people.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah,
people.
and I watched those boys grow up, and Ian's one of the best.
So my wife is really good friends with Val, Kacie's mom.
Yes.
And she worked with her back in the day at I think S&T Bank. I think Val
makes
used to
sense.
work at S&T Bank.
That probably makes sense.
And they've remained friends ever since. They don't see each other very often, but
And Casey's parents are two of the most solid of the salt of the earth.
like Ian said, he said we'd like to think we came from good stock.
They both
I
did.
totally agree.
They both did.
Yeah.
So did his brother and his wife.
I agree.
And I don't know the third brother.
Oh, they're all
Yeah.
mean-
well, I mean, is he married too?
no. You talking about the youngest brother, Rito?
I don't know.
You're talking about Park because they're going to go see Park. Yeah, Rito
Parker, Ian, and
and Ian Parker and Rito Reed.
Reed. Okay.
Yeah. So Reed's the youngest, and
Okay.
he's been dating. Yeah, I think he's down in Texas right now.
Okay.
He's right along the border.
Cool.
Knows how to make a mean taco too.
Find himself a mamacita.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, fifth segment. We are on the fifth segment.
We are here.
We are. Did we talk about the Woodford? Yeah, because it's empty.
We did. We talked about how fast it was disappearing.
I wanted to see how much of that bottle I could pour in my glass.
Holy shit. That's like a four-finger
Well,
pour.
I think
There was some help.
that's an Eric. That's an Eric pour without the. When you're free balling, that's what it looks like.
Oh, there's ice. So the ice is taking up some of that volume.
That's
Okay.
actually quite a lot, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah, it actually is quite a lot. If I get through this tonight, that'll be amazing.
Well, this is we should probably hurry up and finish recording before you finish that glass.
Or let me see how fast I can finish this glass.
No,
What are the
The challenge is on, Mitch.
two? Yeah, it is, bitch. Do it.
So let's get into some philosophical stuff now that you and I
Absolutely. Let's
are
do
back together after the Canadian border was separating us.
They separated us.
I know they really
2
did.
weeks, man.
Was,
So I can't believe it.
it was you weren't across the Rainbow Bridge, were you? That's Niagara Falls, right?
Niagara
That's Niagara Falls.
That's what I thought.
There's no bridges. Ain't no bridges over in Nova Scotia.
All right, just
So they really boycotted bourbon?
They did. There's no bourbon. And my biggest mistake was I was at Newark Airport, and they had Buffalo Trace, and they had Blanton's. And I wasn't in the state to buy either, I think, because I'm just looking at this thing. I'm like, oh, no, of course they have bourbon in Canada. And they don't. Wow. So that was a poor decision. You know, something you go to AI and ask.
Where's the exchange rate right now? I haven't been following.
1.42.
Is that?
It's exceptionally.
Is that Canadian to us?
Large. The opposite.
Oh, it's flipped.
So that's
it's flipped. So
that's bad for them.
Yeah, it's bad for that.
So last time I looked,
0.68.
Yeah, no.
It's not good.
No, so the last time I actually looked at the exchange rate between Canada and us, it was like 1.2 to Canada to us.
Yeah, 1.42 now.
Oh man,
that's why all their hockey players come to the States.
Yeah.
I know you're a math whiz, so just real quickly, what is the difference between 1.2 to that? That's a big change.
So you're looking at what?
40-50%?
Close to 50%.
Oh, that's not good.
No, it's a big number.
Yeah, I can understand why they don't want to buy anything. They can't afford it.
They can't afford. Well, and also the issues have to do with employment, their economy, their interest rates, and really
So what's going on there? I don't watch
economy.
Well, their prime minister's banging a singer from the United States.
Oh, Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trudeau. He was the former.
Oh, that's right. He's out. Yeah,
he's out.
He did the damage while he was there, though.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Well, apparently, ostensibly. But
well, they're dating.
They're dating. Yeah.
What's the other rumor about who looks like who from Canada? I don't know. Maybe. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Well, there's a
Trudeau.
Belief that, there's a belief that he's Castro's son.
Well, that's the rumor, right? So there's a lot of
he acts like him.
A lot of cross-border pollination going on.
Pollination. It's a bad economy.
Well, right now
that's driving it.
Well, and but that's economy that can be changed, right? So that's
yeah. They need to work on it.
Well, it's because our bourbon is better than their whiskey.
That's right.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
7 and 7s, man. I tell you what.
I mean, Crown's not bad.
They're pretty good. I used to serve those a lot at the country bar. I got to be honest. A 7 and 7 was a popular drink. Went down smooth.
The Crown Royal's good too.
Perry, one question: did Crown Royal actually relocate their distilleries to the U.S.?
I don't know. You want me to ask Siri?
Yeah,
you probably should, or ask Claude in the fuzzy wasn't.
I don't have the no. Don't go there.
Fuzzy
voice.
I don't have the Claude app.
It was the funniest thing ever.
I was going to pull up Copilot's different voices, but I didn't think Casey was going to be able to stand it.
Okay, so Crown Royal was exclusively mashed, distilled, and aged at the 360-acre distillery in Gimli, Manitoba. So
that is definitely
it's situated on the shores of Lake Winnipeg.
Yeah, there you
so
go.
Lake Winnipeg.
That's like Canada.
That's
there.
definitely Canada.
Yeah.
That's cold.
That's like ridiculous.
You're full on Canada there.
Yeah, that's full on Canada.
So it's still there.
It's still there. Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm from
Crown
Wisconsin.
Royal's-
I'm
Crown
from
Royal's-
Wisconsin, so I consider myself half Canada.
You're almost.
Plus,
in
I got the
Canada.
EAU going. Everybody thinks I'm French Canadian. I'm not. But I will.
But then you
Take-
live in Erie.
Well, that's where I end up landing. We were born in Wisconsin, up in the
Erie's close to Canada.
So it's funny.
I know, right?
There are
Not too
certain
far.
words that you say
There's still
that
the
have
EA
that Canadian.
They do.
Like out.
So can I-
sorry.
Yeah. Can I share with you?
I'm not making fun of you.
No,
It's
but
just something I noticed.
So this has been a metamorphosis of moving, right? So I grew up my whole.
How'd you say metamorphosis and you can't say bourbonometer?
I can't say that.
You grew up. I don't need to derail you. You do a pretty good job of that yourself.
Thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
Just let me go.
So you grew up. Wind them up. Let them go.
Yeah.
You were saying you grew up.
No, so when we were all born in Wisconsin, and we were halfway between Milwaukee and Green Bay. We were in very small towns. Elkhart Lake. If anybody knows Elkhart Lake, there are race fans out there. Which we're going to have some great race car drivers coming on to this show.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Yeah,
I know. So this is
you got the inside connection.
we do. I mean, and to the gentleman that reached out, thank you so much. I can't wait to make that happen.
That's exciting.
It is. So I grew up in a very small town called Elkhart Lake City, or Elkhart Lake. I won't even call it a city. It was a population of 1,100. And it was a resort town that had a beautiful little lake. During the summertime for 3 months, it was the most gorgeous place you want to be. During the wintertime, you're like, oh my God,
I get to get out of here.
it's fucking
So
cold, you know?
cold.
Yeah. So,
Curling.
but they all, yeah.
We talked about with Deacon's buddy, remember?
We did.
About the curling.
Yeah. But they had one other thing there, just outside Elkhart on the edge, Road America, which is the longest,
Oh, yeah.
racetrack in America,
I didn't know that's where that was.
other than Watkins Glen, which is the other one up in New York. So that was in our backyard. So our weekends would be, my dad would say, hey, you want to go down to the, I want to go to the race. I mean, what kid didn't have match cars and going, my God, I get to go watch,
the match cars.
Right?
Yeah.
So you get on, you watch the Indy cars, you watch the NASCARs, you watch the Corvettes or
The IMSA, those
and they had the
Porsches and all that.
motorcycles coming through when the guys are coming down. They're going 200 miles an hour and they come around those corners with those knees down.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah, and one of my kindergarten friends, the first year, not the second.
You did 2 years in
First
kindergarten?
year, kindergarten.
I did 2 years.
He gets all serious the first year.
Yeah.
I did.
Not the second year of
I
kindergarten.
did 2 years,
First
by
year.
the way.
So, and I'm friends with his brother, was my friend in the second year. They were very close. In time.
Someday,
Right.
someday I want to hear the story about why you did 2 years of kindergarten. But go ahead.
I told you why, because I couldn't sit still. I could do my colors and numbers, but I just couldn't.
Couldn't sit.
And I didn't throw out my milk because I didn't drink milk.
All right. Go ahead.
Was it a lactose intolerant?
Very much so.
See, when like being our age,
Yeah.
like back then,
Yeah.
what was it, 45 years ago?
Oh, this is
ages ago.
It feels like
like who knew lactose intolerance?
it didn't exist. Yeah,
Didn't exist.
You just like
Or
yeah.
peanut allergy.
All I knew was like, I had poison ivy. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, and trust me, if you're in Wisconsin and you're
about
not
it.
and you're not drinking milk,
Yeah.
they all look at you like you have 4 heads.
Or eating cheese.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Well, I ate cheese. I
Cheese
ate
curds.
So that
I ate-
didn't bother?
No, that didn't. Ice cream didn't bother me.
Really?
Cheese didn't bother me, but just the
milk.
taste of milk.
Really?
Oh, did
See,
See, to me, I just
love.
I just envisioned it coming out of the udder.
I could drink a tall, cold, ice cold glass of milk over just about anything else. On a
Right out of the
hot day.
nipple.
No, cold,
So
not body temp.
So who was the first person that decided that might be a good taste?
Well, I don't know, but I appreciate it.
How do you measure that?
I don't know, but I'm glad they did.
The milkman.
Yeah, that
Going
creep.
around.
Hey, look at that. That calf looks like it's enjoying that. Awfully way too much.
Finish your story.
All right. So, anyways,
He wants to finish the story.
I grew up in cow country. I mean, it was, when I got all the way to 3rd grade. 2 years of kindergarten to get there.
So he's in 3rd grade, and all his buddies are in 4th grade.
They are. So I had a lot of friends in the 4th
And look
grade.
at you now.
I know.
I mean, what the fuck were they thinking?
I was a little immature.
What, you were fucking in kindergarten? Of course you were immature.
He's 5.
What are you looking for?
I was 5.
You were 5.
I
What
told
the
you.
hell? Hey, look at that fire.
I told
it
you.
changed.
Oh, it did change.
Oh, wow.
Well, look at it.
That looks like Canada.
That kind of looks
That
like
is
the,
Canada. That could be like Muskoka.
I mean, I think we ran out of the 4 hours.
I love it.
So
Lily, thank you for changing our perspective on the fires, but that's
hours.
beautiful.
or that may be the Conemaugh River that I paddled down.
It could be.
That was there I am.
Doing splits.
Doing the splits in the river.
Splits in this river.
I swear I heard the banjos.
Near.
And some squealing, but I'm not sure.
You sure got a pretty mouth.
He sure got a pretty mouth there, boy.
Until you watch that movie, you do not know what that
I
means.
tell you, that was a truly distressing movie.
Yeah,
You want to talk about a horror flick? God bless you all. If you haven't seen it and you want to take that on, it is traumatizing.
It is traumatizing.
It's almost as traumatizing as being told your kindergarten teacher doesn't want to have you for the second year. And you got to move over to the other class.
Oh, so not only did they hold you back.
Yeah.
Who held you back? Your parents or the school?
I don't know. I think they were told. I think my parents had to kind of buffer
So the
that and
teacher
say,
said,
you know what?
he should be held back, but not in my class.
I'm pretty sure it was a trifecta of all three of them going, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Actually,
There's nobody arguing with you in this room.
I'm surprised they didn't say move them on and move them out of here.
Yeah, I think we should. And by the way, the kindergarten teacher does not want to have him again.
That's hilarious.
So when we were
I
out-
hope your kindergarten teacher sees what you've become.
Oh, and she was my favorite teacher too up to that point.
Oh, good. You got to know her really well for 2 years.
You only had two.
I had one.
You had one. And you had two.
So we totally got
We did derail. So,
anyway.
anyways, that was my kindergarten years and my experience in Wisconsin, which was so wonderful.
Oh, we were talking about Canada, Wisconsin, the proximity.
So so when the
Proximity.
you talk about my enunciation, and John will enunciate the stories. That's but the one thing that carried through all these years. But the O's and the U's and the way I would say that stuff. So mind you, I moved from Wisconsin to Iowa, which wasn't a biggest shift.
Iowa?
Yeah, so they were a little more subtle than Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But the bigger change was moving from Iowa in 5th grade to Denver and not having your summer break. So that was the second most traumatizing thing.
They go to school year round.
Yeah. Really? I thought I just got my summer break and we're going to Denver. My dad got a new job out there. Got all summer to kind of get acclimated. Nope. Monday morning we were checked in. I got to go to.
Were you like elementary school at this point?
Yeah, it was 6th grade, so it was track. You got A, B, C, D track. 3 tracks are on at one time.
You had to run at the Mile High City. That was probably fun.
This isn't track like that. These are track systems.
Oh,
So-
I thought you meant you were running.
No, they had
Tracks.
at the point
in
in
the
time-
education system.
This is way back in the 87. You know, great music era, by the way.
I graduated in '85, so I wouldn't,
Right?
you know,
86,
aging
87.
myself now.
86, 87 is when I think it was 86 when I moved out there in 6th grade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great music era.
Right? But they had 10,000 people per square mile. So they only had so much
wow.
capacity.
Holy shit!
Holy. Yeah. Wow.
They only had so much capacity to have students in school at one time, so they did a track system.
Oh.
So you would have 3 tracks, A, B, C, D.
That's 4.
I know, but only 3 of the 4.
Fuck off.
Only 3 of the 4 would be in school at one time because they had to keep one out. They didn't have room,
Oh wow!
and they ran it all year round so they could make.
So what'd you go like 3 days a week or 4 days a week?
So it was like I think it
Yeah,
was.
how would that work?
So I think it was 8 weeks on, 4 weeks off. So you had a really cool break in between, and then they gave you like 8 weeks off during the winter, which was cool in Denver because you got to
Yeah.
go skiing, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
right. That's like primo skiing.
But it's not cool when you're moving from Iowa thinking you got your summer break ahead of you.
You're
got-
like,
I
what the
got
hell is
school.
this? What's this
And
nonsense?
they go, oh, by the way, you got to go back to school. I'm like, what the fuck?
I went to. I repeated kindergarten.
I know.
you
I feel like I'm repeating 5th grade again.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but the
I feel
coolest
bad
thing that
for
came
you.
out of this, my 6th grade teacher did end up being one of my very coolest teachers. In fact, she was so cool. My mom engaged her to be our babysitter when we were in 7th and 8th grade. She was so awesome. I mean, she understood. She made me feel welcome. She brought me in. She understood this complex
Human.
mind
Yeah.
that couldn't sit still.
Yeah. She appreciated it for what it was.
She did. She
Obviously, you remember her.
Oh, I
so
do.
That's good.
Yeah,
In
and-
6th grade?
6.
Man, I don't know if I remember 6th grade. Vaguely.
I know.
Mr. Fairman, he used to throw tennis balls at if he thought you weren't paying attention, he'd whale a tennis ball at the back chalkboard.
Yeah,
and wake everybody up.
we were talking about that the other night too. You know,
Why?
I had a teacher in 3rd grade in Iowa, right? So we would all, at the end of the day, I don't know if you guys were this way too, but at the end of the day, everybody kind of crunched towards the door when the bell would ring,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and you'd be kind
We're
of
out.
you kind of get into that threshold, and everybody's kind of it's kind of like that crowd at the concert that's pushing to the front of the stage.
Yeah.
And you're at the front of the door. You're trying to hold him back, but you're and I remember I'm not even gonna say his name because I know he's not alive anymore. But out of due respect for him, he would belt out. And he was my very first male teacher, and when he came out, it was very intimidating, right? So you cannot leave this room, before the bell rings, because God forbid you do that, right?
Before the bell tolls. Yeah.
When the bell tolls, right?
Yeah.
So I was always, first to the line. So I'm the one holding back the crowd that's pushing me behind. And I can't control these, maniacs. I was like, 4'2" and, 78 pounds, So after like 3 or 4 times, the teacher got so upset. He goes, he comes and grabs me by the ear, twists my ear like all the way around, right?
Yeah, I'd go to prison for that today.
Well, they probably would, right? But you learn not to be the first in line after that.
Yeah, this is such a good idea after all.
Anyways, my monkey ear was looking pretty good today.
That's funny.
They look uniform though.
It's been a lot of work since then. Not gonna be. I'm like, Tony, just grab the other one. Tarzan,
Tanya, please.
Those are the good old days.
Those were the good old days. So now, this is where the story was going, and then you can see how easily distracted I get, and then why I had to do 2 years of kindergarten. Just can't stay focused. So we moved to Denver after the ear twisting and all the other stuff that you can do in Iowa.
Ear twist. Oh.
But I get to Denver, and my accent or my dialect, whatever the hell you want to call it, right?
Dialect.
In 6th grade, out there,
Got made fun of.
you're getting bullied,
Yeah.
and then you want to double up the bullying. You play trombone because that's the only instrument your dad can afford. Because
That's what I play.
Yeah, well, it's because that's what we had. He's like, I want to play drums. No.
No, trombone.
You can play
Play
my
this.
trombone that I played in high school. It's down in the basement. It's been collecting rust. All right, we'll polish that thing up. Let's get it up here. Not only was it wasn't even a trombone pair. I told you it was a bass trombone.
Yeah, that was pretty rare back then.
Yeah.
I played the regular trombone.
Yeah.
Bass
So
trombone.
so this is bigger.
Yeah, and didn't it have the buttons?
It had
like
the
a trumpet.
It had the So it had the knob, and it had the curl. The trumpet.
Yep.
Curl.
Yep.
So you got the deeper.
Yeah.
And it's bigger.
It was like a cross between a trombone and a tuba.
And a tuba.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is
So
what
you were playing that?
that's what I had to play. So
Oh.
so now imagine getting on the bus with this motherfucker every morning.
Carrying that big case.
Yeah. I'm 6th grade. I'm all 4'2", 78
Yeah,
pounds.
that case was probably as big
Case-
as you were.
Case looks like a small coffin. That's kind of where my
That's where the coffin comes into play.
it wasn't. How the trombones had the cases that went around the. This was square.
Yeah.
It was big. You had to drop it down.
And I can still smell of that brass.
Just as you say it right now, right?
I can still smell that from touching that instrument, and my hands would smell like brass.
It's a smell of brass and spit.
yeah,
Brass and spit.
yeah, that's a great combination.
No, right? So to
I was a band nerd too.
me too. So in Para, I love band. So,
I did too.
but I didn't love getting ridiculed in 6th grade because then you had, I'm literally I was dragging this thing. And so finally, after about halfway through the year, my dad says, you know what, I'm going to put wheels on the bottom of that so you can
Smart.
and a handle on top
There you go.
so you can pull it behind.
Yeah, I
you.
like
remember you
luggage.
told me this story. Yeah, I've heard this
luggage.
story. That's-
Yeah, so
that's cool.
so we did that, and that made it better, but didn't get rid of the ridicules, right? So I had a few bullies I had to deal with. And I did my own way, as you can imagine.
Oh, I don't think.
Here,
I don't. As
have some bourbon,
As an
Ryan.
attorney, I'm going to advise you of your rights. And I'd probably not go any further with that story.
No, but and they became dear friends after that. But it's funny how that works.
That's- That happened to me too.
Yeah.
I had a good friend of ours that I'm still friends with today. I don't see him that often, but we were having a snowball fight up at my buddy's place, and most of my friends were Dave's age. 'Cause, I don't know why. It's just most of the people I went to high school with were kind of assholes. But
Me too.
yeah, so I hung out with these guys that were one
That's why I hung out with Strong Vincent
1 to
guys.
2
They were-
years.
They
Yeah,
were real.
Yeah, so they were just the guys I hung out with, and they're still friends today, most of them. So anyway, we were having this big snowball fight, and we had kind of cordoned off into 2 teams, and our team devised this plan to attack their fort, and we took like snow shovels, loaded them up with snow, and we ran over, dumped the snow over their fort wall, and then we took off. Yeah. Well, my buddy Brian had these big, thick glasses, and the snow all got packed in behind his glasses. He was so fucking bad. So he blamed Dave, because Dave was pretty scrawny then. Well, he's still pretty scrawny.
He's still pretty scrawny.
Yeah. So he goes after Dave.
Eat protein, Dave.
So and Brian, we called him Bethel.
More steak.
He was pretty big, and so he got Dave in a headlock, and he punched him a couple times. And Dave's going, "Get him off me!" And I was like, "Bethel, let him go." His name was Brian. We called him Bethel. I was like, "Bethel, let him go." And he's like, "No, you threw snow in my face." He was all pissed. He punched him again. I was like, "Bethel, let him go, or I'm going to punch you."
That's right.
So, and they were down. He was like down on his knee, and he hit Dave again. So I just wailed him as hard as I could with like an uppercut. So he throws Dave down. He comes after me.
No.
Oh.
He tried to kick me. I threw his leg down, and I popped him again right in the face. And this is one of the only 2 times in my life I've actually punched somebody in the face.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a violent person.
Me neither.
Yeah, you're not.
And he just looked at me and he goes, "I'm going home." So he started walking home. Well, then Dave attacked him with the hockey stick and started wailing.
Dave!
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
no.
hilarious.
That might not be self-defense at that point.
So now Bethel. So we were in band. This was in junior high. Yeah.
Acting with the hockey stick.
Yeah. So we were in junior high, and we were still. He played the baritone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I played the baritone too because it's very similar to the trombone.
Right, and I played the trombone, so we sat beside each other
Yeah.
on stage. So now it's kind of awkward because I just punched him in the face. So I'm thinking, oh, he's going to have a shiner, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't hurt this kid. So I looked, he had a little tiny mark under his eye where I hit him, and we gave each other the stink eye for a while, but then we became friends again. But
He gave you the stink eye with a little bit of
like you said, you end up being friends with, we had that out, and then that was it, and we're still friends to this day. So
I hear you.
one of the few people I've ever punched.
So I
There's
love
been quite a few I'd like to fucking
Friends
punch.
till the end.
So I love band. I got to be honest. So once I got into it, my 6th grade, my band instructor asked me to do a solo. It was The Entertainer on the trombone,
Ooh,
Oh.
that's not easy.
right? And he did the piano, the piano part. So it was, and I'm trying to figure out this, that's a lot of sliding.
Well, no trombone. That's tough because
A lot of, like,
you would use your finger
especially when
against
you're
the
short.
bell.
And
Especially when you're short,
I mean, how
you
do
know.
you do that with your arm? Like,
Well, and it gets better. So with the trigger, I could at least.
Yeah.
what's the trigger?
Well, the bass trombone had the trigger on it, so I could actually, instead of having to get down to the 5th and 6th position, remember that pair?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you could shorten it with like the 4th with the trigger. So it would, or third. So
On a regular trombone, you would use your finger against the bell, the horn.
Yeah.
The bell of the horn, that was like
Techniques.
3rd position. Yeah, so it's like playing a cello or playing a bass.
Okay.
There's no frets, so you
Yep.
have to, well, a violin's the same way. You just have to know where to place your finger.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
a trombone's the same way.
Gotcha.
So I loved it, and I cried. I got to be honest. This is probably more than I cried ever trying to figure out this Entertainer, because I just wanted to do it, and I couldn't figure it out. It was so complex on the trombone.
That's a great song though. Yeah, we have to dub that over this whenever you do the edit.
So
It's a great song.
it is a great song. So
Yeah.
when I finally accomplished that, I felt like one of the, and then to be able to do it in front of everybody,
Pretty epic.
yeah. And I got like a standing O, and then they asked me to come back and do like an encore. I mean,
That's cool.
it was really cool. So that encouraged me to go on to 7th and 8th grade and do it right into Laredo Middle School in Denver, and that was one of the bigger middle schools. And now you're into band, and now you're into real serious band where you're throwing wadded up paper into the tubas.
Because they were straight up. And they would go,
And they're right in front of you.
boom, boom, boom.
It becomes so simple. Everyone thinks like it's not simple. That's easy. Yeah, I like it.
No, but I did take it very seriously, and I loved it. And then Denver had something very special. They had a Denver Junior Symphony that that you could try out for, and that would be it's open to any school.
So all schools.
All schools. And I tried out for
all of them.
I tried out, and I made first trombone.
Nice. Okay.
See, I don't think I ever made it higher than second trombone.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so that was my peak.
So what happened after that then?
Well, I got to
Girls.
yeah, basketball.
Basketball.
Yeah.
So we moved to Erie then from Denver.
Well, the problem is now it's going to be segment 6.
It's okay.
Well, that goes into
Unless we
different
just
realm
splice
of
it into
travel.
a longer
We've
segment
just
5.
gone into the.
That does not happen ever.
It's almost like the Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone.
You and I, dude, that's crazy that you were even just diddling like
It's the
that.
Twilight Zone.
I know you.
Diddling.
You know,
I like it.
You and I had been a great first and second trombone anywhere.
We'd be great boners. Where's Louie when we need him?
Yeah, right. I mean, Lou's going, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, where's Lou?
Together we
on,
rise.
Lou.
Can I get my?
He had something to do. Whatever. Lou.
No, so
He's the best.
So we you know, I get to Denver, or I moved to Erie, and I'm so excited to go to this huge school. You know, McDowell is a very
McDowell's massive.
Yeah. So my parents, handpicked as to which, and they picked McDowell, and you can see why. It's a reputable school. It has
That's a good school.
great education, big,
Huge.
You know, I mean, my graduating class was like 880.
Holy shit.
900, almost 1,000.
Oh my God.
So we had an intermediate school that was as big as Indiana High School, and then we had a top school that was, the old school that was, the 11th and 12th
Old
grade.
school. Ma!
It was, Ma! Meatloaf! Don't let me forget. We're not going into the 7th segment. Don't let me forget it. But
You're goddamn right we're not going to go into
but don't let me forget to tell you about my history teacher that won 3 times on Jeopardy.
Oh.
Oh, no way.
That's interesting.
Was that Ken Jennings?
No, but he was the Ken Jennings before Ken Jennings.
Ken was good.
He was.
No, he's the
He's still the host, right?
he's the voice. He's the host.
Yeah. So this guy was fucking brilliant,
Wow,
I don't want to get sidetracked.
That's another show.
That's another show. So just remind me to bring that up.
Oh,
again.
I will.
But the
I
basketball,
want to hear that.
This basketball story is unbelievable.
Well-
It's awesome.
I was getting back to the trombone, Rich.
Oh, we're going to talk about basketball,
I was
man.
trying to play trombone in Erie, and so I sign up, and that's where I met Eric Warsaw, my best man in my wedding.
Yeah.
He was second trombone, I was first trombone, and we marched in between 8th and 9th grade for the McDowell Marching Band in
Okay.
D.C.
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
in the parade, and became close friends. And then the marching band instructor, that he also taught symphony, which was where I was passionate. I wasn't passionate about doing the marching and all that.
Yeah,
I was
symphony piece.
So the symphony piece
Yeah.
is where I obviously excelled
Excelled.
in Denver. So I said to him, I said, look, I can't do marching band after school. I play basketball, but I can do symphony, whatever period, that is. And he goes, you have to do both or else you can't be in. I'm like, oh my God, really? So you're making me choose between basketball and band?
Terrible.
Oh, well, so anyways, I did band and I played trombone at halftime.
So the rest of the team's in the locker room getting coached up.
There's always a solution. That is like the most epic Brad moment ever.
That's hilarious.
You know what? This is what I'm gonna do. Quickly change. Go out and play.
Well,
Or in the uniform.
I didn't play trombone at halftime. I just played in my basement like a freaking nerd.
Wouldn't that be cool?
But it would have been cool, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
it would be cool.
Nobody wants to hear one trombonist coming across.
Here's the trombone solo you've all been waiting
Exactly.
I know our speaker system sucks, but this is going to be
for.
awesome.
Yeah. Just wait till you hear this. This guy could rip the trombone, man.
I mean, and it's bass trombone too. It's not.
They were waiting
It is the normal trombone experience you guys are all used
Yeah.
to.
This guy knows how to run that slide.
Coming in with his like
Yeah. There he goes with that. You can see where my coffin came from.
coffin trombone case.
I'm putting wheels in the coffin.
Yeah, you should.
We're rolling that shit in.
Put a motor on it. Turn it into a go-kart.
Don't charge me extra for that stand.
Here comes Gus.
There he is.
Gus is back.
Gus has the rips.
Gus is running down the steps.
I must have said something that
Triggered him.
You got him triggered.
twitched the bourbon boner.
He's like, Michael Myers is here.
Right? Bear boner.
The bourbon home.
Gussie, settle. All right.
Oh, boy.
Hold your cameras.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Gus, get out of there.
All right, we're
Gus.
good.
Oh, there he is.
All right, we about wrapped.
We are
We're
about
all
right.
wrapped.
So we're going to get Gus back to his bed and me to my bed.
And Pete of mine.
Yeah.
Great guest
uh,
tonight. That was a great guest.
It was a great guest.
Yeah.
It
She was
was so
awesome.
special to have.
She was awesome.
So special to have a very close family friend that's doing well.
Yeah, epic. She's great.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
You can see why.
Yeah, a lot of great advice to,
Yep.
I think.
Solid advice. So if you're looking for advice for youngsters, that there it is.
Yeah.
But-
she's in the right role there.
Ah, she's
And, I mean, she's
Working for
great
Microsoft.
at communicating the message of what's going on. She was
Yeah, right?
Microsoft, I mean, the whole thing, and the fact that I really liked what she talked about in her education. She was really uncomfortable with the math and accounting and business, but her dad, hey, you should probably study this. Okay, she did. Uncomfortable with it, but
I was uncomfortable with.
I think that's important, though.
I was uncomfortable with the second year colors. Kindergarten.
We're back to kindergarten.
I got to be honest. I mean,
Are you still holding on to that?
well, a little bit. I got to be honest. I probably should see a therapist about.
I'm still hung up on this kindergarten for 2 years thing. Hell, we only went for half a day for 1 year. We went for a whole day for 2 years.
Imagine
That's like
being-
4 times as much.
Imagine being this pair, a second year kindergartner, lining up,
You're a red shirt.
Red shirt. Red shirt.
lining up in recess, and your first year kindergarten teacher won't even look you in the eye.
I'll bet you were a badass on a kickball court.
Oh, man.
I was, but you know what? That traumatized me. I got to be honest. I could not sleep at all at nap time.
When I open? How you do that?
We'll see you guys all next week.
Glad to have you back, Eric.
Welcome to the very first segment.
And John.
We did it.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
This has been Bourbon with Brad. Be sure to like and follow. Cheers.
The views and opinions shared on the Bourbon with Brad podcast are our own and those of our guests. Nothing we discuss should be taken as financial, legal, business, or gambling advice. Don't make investment, business, or betting decisions based on our conversations, as you should always talk to a qualified professional. Always drink responsibly, never drink and drive, and only consume alcohol if you are of legal drinking age.